play-by-play of the opening period. Bernie Pascal and Tom Watt.
Thank you, Ron. Hello, everybody. Czechoslovakia in red and the United States. And this will no doubt be a very emotional game. The U.S. coming off that big 2-2 tie with Sweden. And the referee, Lindgren, is all set to drop the puck. And the Stastny brothers, the starting forward line for Czechoslovakia. And Peter Stastny, number 26 at center. Number 10 for the USA is Mark Johnson. The starting center, he has McClanahan on the left side. And we just have momentarily delay here as the referee goes over to the timekeeping bench. But it's a very important game time for both teams. Czechoslovakia beating Norway 11-0 in their first encounter.
Well, the United States have a very rough schedule in this tournament in that they had to play their first game against Sweden, one of the favorites. And that last-minute goal with their goaltender out coming back to tie 2-2 was a very important point for them. And now they come right back against the silver medalists at the World Championships last year in the Soviet Union, the Czechoslovakian team, which has a very strong, experienced hockey club.
And the game here earlier today, Canada defeated Poland by a score of 5-1. So Canada is undefeated in 2 games, defeating Holland 10-1 and Poland 5-1. Now Johnson against Stastny. The puck is cleared into the U.S. zone. This is Mike Ramsey slapping it off the boards. Bubla of Czechoslovakia. On that left side goes Anton Stastny. Comes to the line, and it's dumped out to center. This is Stastny, number 18, Maria, the 27-year-old veteran of this Czechoslovakian team. Gets it over to Anton. He can't catch up to it, though, and it's Ken Morrill. He's bumped against the boards by Anton Stastny, and a bit of a mix-up in that United States corner.
Well, the United States has a very aggressive hockey team. Here we see Morrill mixing it up, but they played a very aggressive game against Sweden in the first game of the Olympic round. The previous game they played in a 2-2 tie, and it looks like we're starting out here to have an aggressive game this evening.
Face-off in the Czechoslovakian zone to the left of Yuri Kralik. And this crowd 100% behind Herb Brooks, the coach of the U.S. team. There's a shot right on, and Kralik grabs a hold of that, and he holds on.
Well, Kralik, he's a big question mark with the Czechoslovakian team. They've changed both the goalies. Sarah defected. We had Zurilla and Holacek both playing in West Germany, and they have Kralik, who played in the World Championships last year, but one of the question marks of the Czechoslovakian team.
This is Broughton against Novak. The puck comes back to the line, a drive, and Kralik deflects that up over the glass, and out of play as Christian let a low shot go. That was a great stick save by Kralik.
Well, there we have Karel Good on the left and Rudy Bukac, both veteran coaches in Czechoslovakia, one with Sparta Prague.
Now here's a chance for the U.S. Eruzione got a shot, and it was blocked. Martin Netz brings it right back for Czechoslovakia, his drive, and that hit the defenseman number 6, Baker, on the chin, and Baker took that shot. It bounced off his arm right up and hit him on the chin. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
What is ESSO? It's Bonnie Lowe and other geologists searching for uranium deposits. It's chemists like Joe Gutman developing efficient, more compact furnaces for your home. It's technicians like Gary Piggott conducting research into solar energy. And it's Raymond Mayer supplying special lubricants for giant diesels. They are ESSO, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years.
The injured player, Bill Baker, the captain of the University of Minnesota last year, still being attended to after taking that shot, bouncing. Here's the play with Martin Netz, Tom.
The shot coming off Martin Netz hits the stick and seems to come up and get Baker just on the chin or just on the side of the mouth. You see him holding there. There doesn't seem to be any blood on the ice, but I think it certainly has dazed him as he went down. Of course, Baker was the hero of the game against Sweden. He's up now, but he was the hero of the game against Sweden with the last-minute goal just moving in from the point. A great goal, really, with the goaltender out to tie that game against Sweden in the first game of the championships, 2-2.
Bill Baker gets a great round of applause here at the Olympic Fieldhouse as he heads over to the U.S. bench. Face-off in the U.S. zone to the right of goaltender Jim Craig. Number 11 for Czechoslovakia, Yuri Novak in his 6th season. Here comes the U.S. Broughton had trouble with it at center, now goes back, fires it inside his own line. This is Ramsey. Cleared up on the right side, and that's broken up. Good defensive play by Aberman, deflecting it up over the boards.
Ramsey is the first U.S.-born player, college player, to be drafted in the first round of the National Hockey League. He was taken last year by Buffalo Sabres, but he elected to play for the United States Olympic team.
Novak against Broughton. The puck is shot in. Number 3 for the U.S. is Ken Morrow. Got the puck out to center. It's fired right back into the U.S. zone, just inside the blue line. Going after it there is Yuri Novak. Tries to get it in front, and it's intercepted by Mike Ramsey. Here comes Ramsey for the U.S. Up to center. Shoots it into the Czechoslovakian zone, and back after it. It's slapped out to center ice. Right to Ken Morrow. Morrow, number 3 for the U.S. He was checked there by Novak. Aberman gets a shot. That's blocked. And Broughton has it for the United States. Lost it. Kept in at the line by Naliba. In behind the net goes Mike Ramsey. He's bumped against the boards. Tries to get the puck ahead to Christoph, and it goes all the way down the ice into the Czechoslovakian zone. This will be icing as it's touched by Naliba.
The United States right off the bat have been dumping the puck in, and that's a dubious tactic against a team as experienced as the Czechoslovakian team. Sometimes when you dump it in, they control that puck so well that they don't give it back to you. It's very difficult to force them to make a mistake in their own zone.
No score here in the opening period. They didn't drop the puck fairly there, so they'll do it again. Earlier today, Canada defeated Poland by a score of 5-1. Primo, Devani, Barry, Waters, and Zupanchet scored for Team Canada. Now the U.S. bringing it out. Schneider drops it at the line. Harrington backhands it into the corner. Comes back to Dave Christian. Christian fires it wide. Shot right back in. After it is Naliba of Czechoslovakia. He's stopped by Mark Pavlich, and they finally get it out to the line, out to center. Brought in by Lukács. Lukács shot, and that deflected off defenseman Bill Baker and goes wide. Back to the line, a catch for Kybero, and he lets it go wide. Kodlitz rolls it in front. They score! Kozar.
The puck seemed to stand up on him as he made the shot. It came off to him just off the side of the net. He didn't take long to get it away. Another one of the veteran Czechoslovakian players. Novi getting the puck in the corner. There's Kozar, just stops it down. Doesn't seem to get all that much wood on it, but goes between either underneath the arm or between the pads of Craig. Another look from another angle, going behind the net, thrown in front by Novi to Kozar. The shot comes right between the legs of Craig, the United States goaltender.
Okay, back to the action. The Stastny brothers out there once again for Czechoslovakia. Marion is bumped, gets it over to Anton, back to Marion, and it's broken up by the United States, Mark Johnson. A pass on the left side to McClanahan. Oh, and he just fired that one wide. Back to the line, and Morrow couldn't keep it in. A race for it. Stastny gets it. Rolled it in front to Marion Stastny. He chases it into the corner. Tries to get it back to Bubla. This is Anton Stastny. To Marion Stastny at the side. Rolls it in front. And that's intercepted by Ken Morrow. Morrow clears it out to center ice. And it comes back to Bubla. Bubla of Czechoslovakia. Up to the U.S. side of center. Then decides to go back to his own zone. Cleared it in. Marion Stastny was caught at the line. It'll be icing as it's touched by Mark Johnson.
Well, Kozar, the goal scorer, the first Czechoslovakian goal, another experienced forwarder. The Canadians have seen him before in the Canada Cup. And one thing that characterizes this Czechoslovakian team is the amount of experienced forwards they've had. They've had those forwards, Kozar, Aberman, the Stastnys, for many, many years.
Okay, Mark Wells is out there. The puck comes back. A drive by Verkota. And it's brought back by Aberman. Going over the line, a rolling puck in front. And a good defensive play again by Baker. Here's Halupa. His shot deflected right on. Craig stopped that. Aberman slaps away at it. And it rolls to Dave Christian. Now the U.S. Christian bringing it out. Pass on that left side to Verkota. Drops it back to Silt. Rolls it in front. And it just went sailing through the crease. Lukács at center ice. Pass just failed to reach him, and it's fired into the U.S. zone. Baker goes after it. Pass on the left side. Halupa broke it up for Czechoslovakia. Now the U.S. brings it out again. Number 15 is Mark Wells. Drops it back, and it's broken up and cleared to center ice. Now Pozar, number 23. There's his shot. Craig stops that and covers up.
Next Monday night, CTV News will bring you complete election returns and analysis on voting day as the polls close across the country at 8 o'clock local times. Decision 80. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic network.
When the cost of oil went up, good old Jerry converted his oil furnace to gas. But then when gas went up, he cut down on gas by adding wood. Now Humphrey reduced his fuel bill by insulating with fiberglass pink. The money he saved on fuel helped pay for 2 weeks out of the snow and into the sun. Save money this winter. Insulate with fiberglass pink. It's like long underwear for your home.
15 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the opening period, and Czechoslovakia on a goal by Pozar leads 1-0. This is Peter Stachny ready to take the face-off against Neil Broughton. Just outside the Czechoslovakian line. Marion Stachny goes after it. Broughton feeds a pass on that left side. Score! Ariazzoni fires it in, and it's 1-1.
He's the captain of the United States team, and he says the United States, it's a greater honor to play for the Olympic team than to get the money. All the National Hockey League can do is pay him money, but the nice low shot to the far corner. Here we see the angle the goaltender played. He got a little too far up the side, left too much on his glove side, and Ariazzoni just put it low and to that far side. Czechoslovakian goaltender getting a little mixed up in his angle off the side of the crease.
Here comes Lukács back for Czechoslovakia drive, and that just went wide of goaltender Craig. A 1-1 tie. Halupa stops it at the line. Then he's bumped, and they hold the puck against the boards as Buzzy Snyder pins Halupa. We've played 4 minutes and 55 seconds here in the opening period. A 1-1 tie.
A shot again. Ariazzoni just picking the far side. Czechoslovakian goaltender not able to handle it low.
Now the puck is into Lukács, and it's offside at the U.S. blue line. And the Czechoslovakian team upset with that call, but I don't think there's much question about it. Novak against number 16 for the U.S., Mark Pavlich. The puck goes back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Cleared up to Lukács. He's bumped, and Bill Baker got a piece of him. The puck is loose at center. Harrington had trouble with it. Back into his own goes Dave Christian. Christian right in front of his own net. Got a pass ahead. There's a chance now for Pavlich on the right side. Oh, and what a save, the rebound, and the puck is cleared out to center. And this is Baker back inside his own line for Team USA. Baker clears it up on the right side to Pavlich. Pavlich gets it over to Snyder, a backhand. The rebound, they score!
The arena just going wild. The United States have taken a 2-1 lead and persistent forechecking. They had the first good opportunity. The rebound coming in late, just tipping it again. The same spot underneath that left pad of the Czechoslovakian goaltender. This is the importance of going to the net for the rebounds and those extra shots after the original shot is there, not turning off the net.
Well, Pavlich right there to get the rebound, and the U.S. goes in front 2-1 after the shot from Buzzy Snyder. Novi fires it right on. Craig stops that. Puck rolls into the corner. The U.S. with a 1-goal lead. Dump the puck out to center. Kyrell has trouble with it there. Novi goes after it. Brings it up to the U.S. line. Here's Novi moving in front of the net. A shot. And Craig stops that. Mark Johnson, number 10. Clears it out to center ice, and then it's intercepted there by number 15, Kyrell. In behind his own net to Nalima. He's bumped. Cowbell clears it around. The puck rolls in front. A shot hit the side of the net as Strobel was standing all alone. Calling for the pass now is Ramsey. And Kralik stops that shot from Ramsey from close range.
The Czechoslovakian team, I've never seen them lose their composure like this. They're reeling at this point under the constant pressure of the United States, and I think the fans have a lot to do with it here. We see Strobel just tipping that puck. It comes, we have the defenseman moving right into the top of the circle, the way they tied up the game with Sweden, going right to that net again for the rebound, and we have Kralik dropping on it to kill the play.
Here's a chance now for Baker. Shoots it into the corner, and it's deflected up over the glass. And out of play with 13:22 left in the opening period. Very emotional crowd, especially after the U.S. tied Sweden in their first game on a goal in the last minute of play with their goalkeeper on the bench. And they lead this one 2-1. Now it's Dave Christian at center. Christian, number 23, back to Baker. Baker comes out to the center line, helped out by Broughton. Christoph on the right side. Out to the Czechoslovakian line, stopped there by Juric. Puck rolls into the corner. Christoph goes in after it. Christoph knocked against the boards. Now it's Broughton trying to get it back, but it's brought out by Czechoslovakia now. Here's a chance for Stastny, and Anton's drive was stopped by Jim Craig. They keep it in. Here's a chance, Peter Stastny right in front, and Craig stopped him. Some great goaltending by Craig. Now it's brought back by Christoph. Splits through the defense. He's dumped. No penalty there. And the fans very upset about that. Christoph dumped again right in front of the net. And it's brought out by Stastny. Clears it. That drive just goes wide. Peter Stastny, number 26, shoots it down the ice into the U.S. zone. And it's icing against Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakian team having to ice that puck again under constant pressure. Craig coming up and making a good stop in the pressure, and with Stastny just off the edge. The United States coming back again, putting constant pressure on. All the shots moving through. Christian was really upset here. Did a little bit of a dive below. It could have been a minor penalty. Lindgren putting the whistle in his pocket.
Okay, they're back to the live action. The puck in the corner. Moving in front is Wells, calling for a pass, but it never got there. Wells has the puck in the corner. He's bumped. Goes around to the other side to Dvorak. Dvorak of Czechoslovakia gets it out to center ice. Brought in by Novak. Novak up to the U.S. line, going in with Lukács. Takes it into the corner, drops it back to Halupa. Halupa's shot, juggled, and Craig knocked it over to the other side, and here comes Team USA. Brought out on the right side by Kenny Morrow, and he was stopped as they go end-to-end, a great pace. Lukács over the line. There's Lukács in front. Oh, and he tried to set up Novak, and that just failed to reach him. Pozar is hammered against the boards. Team USA comes right back. Ramsey, and he couldn't get a shot as the puck is cleared into the corner. Slapped by Kyrell. Then he was bumped. A deflection in front, and Kralik got a piece of that. Boy, what action here in the opening period. We've played 9 minutes, and it's 2-1 for Team USA. Over the line now goes Christian, and he can't get a shot. Harrington keeps it in, rolls it in front for Snyder, and Kralik juggled that. Baker's shot, and Kralik makes a stick save there. Naliba rolls it in front. And Team USA really putting on the pressure. Here's Snyder in behind the net. Snyder rolls it in front, and nobody can get a good shot on goal as it's cleared up over the glass and out of play. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
This is the life for me. This is the life feeling free. Life makes it easy to be what you want to be. This is the life and I love it.
Put some fun into keeping fit. Exercise, eat right, or if you need a supplement to your nutritional plan, try Life Brand Multiple Vitamins with Minerals. Life Brand, official supplier of vitamins to Canada's Olympic teams.
This is the life and I love it.
Back to the live action. Team USA, Mark Johnson in front, and the pass just failed to get to him, and it's kept inside the line. Going after it there Number 27, Verkota got a piece of it momentarily. Now it's brought back in by Peter Stachny, and Jimmy Craig stops that. Marion Stachny slaps it in front. Mark Johnson in behind his own goal, stolen there by Stachny, but he cleared it right down the ice back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Anton Stachny off the boards. Marion Stachny goes after it for Czechoslovakia. He was checked. Team USA brings it right back. And the pass just failed to get over to Mark Johnson as McClanahan, number 24, tried to get it over. Now the puck is cleared into the U.S. zone. Craig behind the net. 9 minutes and 21 seconds left here in the opening period. It's 2-1 for Team USA. The puck up on that left side. Luzioni takes it into the corner. He's bumped by Halupa. And the puck rolls over to Aberman. Aberman, the captain of Czechoslovakia, gets it out to center to Lukács. Lukács trying to split through the defense, and he was stopped there by Kenny Morrow. Rolls around to Steve Kristoff. Halupa at center. Halupa gets the pass to Vincent Lukács, and he can't catch up to it. Halupa has it bounce over his stick, and the puck goes back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Halupa, number 5. Dvorak. Puck is cleared, but not out. Oh, it did get over the line. Ramsey argues that.
Ramsey moved right up on that line, and that discourages your forechecking sometime. Those defensemen, even though the United States is just buzzing, and who says emotion doesn't play part in a hockey game, because the arena and the crowd here cheering the United States on, I think are doing a great deal for their own team. The United States is flying at this point.
Both teams are at full strength. Team USA leading 2-1. The puck gets over Bob Suter's stick, and it rolls into the Team USA zone. Novi right in front. There's a chance now for number 16, Freacher, and that shot is stopped by Craig as he got a piece of it. Into the corner, the puck goes loose, and Team USA brings it right out. Snyder calling for a pass, takes it. Here's Snyder moving in, but he can't get the relay pass back. Now, brought back by Czechoslovakia. This is Freacher, and his shot hit the defenseman and goes into the corner. Freacher tries to get it to Milan Novi. Novi, number 6. He's bumped off the puck, and they hold it there to get a whistle.
Freacher has been forced to play because Martinez was injured. The experienced Czechoslovakian forward was injured a few shifts ago. Mark Johnson there, the United States player. We see Lukács trying to move through the defense. Good one-on-one coverage there. Great one-on-one coverage by Ramsey. Just staying with his man, forcing him until help arrives to pick up the puck.
8 minutes and 1 second left in the opening period. And just as they dropped the puck, a player jumped into the face-off circle, so they'll do it again. And there's a lot of this Lake Placid flu going around, Tom. I know some of Team Canada players have it. Some of the CTV personnel have it. Yours truly. Here's a chance for Stachny, a drive, and Craig stops that. Another shot, they score! Well, that was inevitable as they were hammering away in front of goaltender Jimmy Craig.
While Stachny's, they're very experienced. They just control that puck inside the zone. The first shot is stopped, and we have Craig out of position, just holding there until they get possession of the puck again and then firing it behind Craig. Craig complained a little bit that there was someone in the crease, but there he is out of position. Stachny just lifting the puck over the melee in front of the net.
So it's a 2-2 tie with 7:53 left in the opening period. Both teams are at full strength. The puck is dropped back to Aberman. Aberman up to the line. He's knocked off stride and hauled down. There'll be a penalty for cross-checking.
While the interpretation of cross-checking by European officials is a little different from North America. If you get those arms extended from your body, Verkota in the, we're going to see it again here. Aberman, one of the premier forwards, there's the stick coming away from your body. If the stick gets a long way in front of your body, they call it a cross-check no matter how hard the opponent is hit. But Verkota in the box for the United States.
So the Czechoslovakian team has a very impressive power play. They have all their big shooters out there with the veteran Novi at center. Novi drops it back to the line, but it's intercepted there by Steve Kristoff. His shot. And Yuri Kralik blocks that drive. Cleared behind the net by Kyborough. Brought out by Novi. Here's Novi coming up to center. Feeds a pass on the left side to Vincent Lukács. Back to Novi, but that failed to reach him as Morrill up on the left side to Christoph. Christoph, number 11, is stopped as he couldn't get by Kyberill. The puck is cleared back by Czechoslovakia. Number 21 is Lukács, a drive. And Craig stops at Novi after the rebound. And it was knocked into the corner by Kenny Morrill. Comes back to Kyberill. Kyberill, number 15, getting set for Czechoslovakia. Into Novi. Back to Kyberill. Kyberill clears it over. A chance for Naliva. They really move the puck with authority. A pass right in front. And it was deflected, and Craig held on.
The United States does a very good job when the team is in the far end forechecking. They held the Czechoslovakian team up a little. They really forecheck hard. But once you get into their zone, they play a disciplined box. They don't chase as much when they're in their own zone, or at least that's the way they've elected to play their zone tonight. But they're doing a good job killing off the penalty against a very experienced Czechoslovakian offense.
6 minutes and 45 seconds left to be played in the opening period. It's a 2-2 tie. Czechoslovakia scored the game's first goal by Pozar, but then the U.S. came back to tie it, then moved in front 2-1 before that last goal by Marian Stashny to tie it at 2.
Well, there seems to be in that last little melee in front of the net, there seems to be a piece of ice that's out just at the top of the crease, and goaltender Craig says, hey, we better straighten that out because I don't want to fall at this point in the hockey game. And so we have to delay while they straighten that out.
Ready now for the draw to the left of Jimmy Craig. The puck rolls into the corner. Off the glass. They can't get it out as Halupa keeps it in momentarily. Then it was slapped down the ice. This is Bubla behind his own net. Watched by Buzzy Snyder. Bubla. 49 seconds remaining in the penalty to Verkota. Puck is brought in by Peter Stashny. Stashny drops it back to Marian Stashny. Over to the other side. Czechoslovakia on the power play here. Bubla drops it in to Stashny. Back now to Jurish. Moves it over to Marian Stashny. Back to Jurish. Jurish getting set. Oh, and it's blocked in front by defenseman Baker.
Baker again, the hero of the last game, and being hit already tonight, is very deft at getting down and blocking the shots. Jurish moving right into the point. Look at the sellout. There comes Baker right across, selling out completely to block that shot before it gets to goaltender Craig.
27 seconds left in the penalty. 6:07 left here in the opening period. And you can hear the crowd here at the Olympic Fieldhouse. They've got to be happy with what they've seen in this game so far. It's been wide open and highly entertaining. Bubla, number 19, behind his own goal for Czechoslovakia to Marian Stashny. Here's Marian over to Peter Stashny on the right side. Peter Stashny takes it into the corner, bumped by Ramsey, and then got the puck over to Ken Morrill. Morrill flaps it off the boards and down the ice. And this is Jurish, number 4, back for Czechoslovakia, and the penalty has expired, and the U.S. has successfully killed off the penalty. Stashny. Over to Jurish. Into the corner, the puck rolls in front, and it's brought out by Verkota. Up on the right side, and it just gets inside the blue line, a delayed offside. The offside is called by the referee.
Well, that happens sometimes in international hockey because the linesmen, especially in this rink, have a difficult time the way the bench is located and the height of the glass trying to get out of the play, and if they get caught up in the play and aren't able to make the call, the referee helps them out with the offside call.
Both teams back at full strength. The puck comes over to Baker. Let it go to number 16, Mark Pavlich. Pavlich is dumped there by Halupa, and there will be a penalty to Czechoslovakia. Halupa. And referee Lindgren still has his arm up in the air, signifying that call.
Well, no question about it. He's calling the tripping call as the United States player moved over the line. Just in full flight here, Pavlich with the puck, makes a little move outside, then comes back to the inside. Halupa gets the leg and a little bit of the stick in there to dump Pavlich, who was in full flight trying to cut across the line.
Tripping penalty to Halupa with 5:09 left to play here in the opening period, and right from the face-off, the puck is deflected up over the glass and out of play. And today is Valentine's Day, and we'd like to wish everyone along the full CTV network, all the ladies, very happy Valentine's Day. 2-2 tie here in the final 5 minutes of the opening period. Number 6 has played a strong game defensively. Bill Baker for Team USA feeds the puck out to Mark Johnson. Back to Baker. Baker over to the far side. The puck goes to Christian. Christian brings it out. Up to the Czechoslovakian line to Mark Johnson. McClanahan takes it into the corner. McClanahan lets it go back to Baker. Baker getting set. There's his shot. And it deflects off a stick and goes into the corner. Mark Johnson back to Christian. Christian into the corner. And they couldn't trap the puck there. As Dvorak gets it for Czechoslovakia, shoots it, knocked down at the line, brought in by Mark Johnson over to McClanahan. McClanahan, number 24, fires it off the boards. This is Strobel. Strobel, number 19, back to McClanahan. McClanahan to Johnson, back to Christian. Over to Mark Johnson. Johnson into the corner, a pass in front, and Baker couldn't get it as it was deflected just before he could reach it. 49 seconds left in the penalty to Halupa. This is Christian shooting it into the corner. Mark Johnson goes in after it there. Johnson trying to get it in front to McClanahan. He was checked. Pozar bumped against the boards. The puck is pinned and knocked loose. Here's a chance for Ramsey. A shot deflected in front by Bubla, and it's up over the glass. And we have a whistle. I'd like to remind you, Monday night, CTV will be on hand to provide complete election coverage with Lloyd Robertson, Harvey Kirk, and Bruce Phillips. CTV's Decision 80 starts Monday evening after the closing of the polls.
Ruzioni, the United States captain, complaining bitterly to referee Lindgren because Bubla just deliberately took the puck and shot it over the glass, and that should be a 2-minute penalty for delaying the game, but he just took it and threw it over the glass.
This is Broughton getting set now for the draw, number 9 for Team USA. Kristoff kicked the puck loose, but then it went down off Kenny Morrow back into his own zone. Morrow, number 3. Novi chased him back and then moved over to the other side. Morrow gets to the head, tended for Kristoff. He couldn't reach it. Novi backhands it. Pozar was out of position, couldn't catch up to it. And now it's into the corner to Broughton. Broughton, number 9, behind his own net. Brings it out for Team USA. 3 minutes left to play in the opening period. It's a 2-2 tie. Number 21 for Team USA scored one of the Team USA goals, Ruzioni. And the puck is shot down into the Czechoslovakian zone where Yuri Kralik scoops it up and holds on.
That's another difference between hockey in North America and the National Hockey League. What you saw the Czechoslovakian goaltender do right there, coming out well out of his net to grab the puck. That is a 2-minute penalty again for delaying the game, either by the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association rules or by the National Hockey League rules, but it's quite well accepted in international play.
Both teams at full strength. The puck comes back to Christian, and a save there by Kralik as he got his stick on that drive and deflected it into the corner. Christian moves back up, clears it in behind the Czechoslovakian net, rolled it in front as Silk tried to get a pass, but he was checked and couldn't get a really good pass in front of the net, and it shot down the ice. Baker's back after it. What linesman is calling now? They finally blow the whistle. It is icing against Czechoslovakia.
Christian has been moved back. We see him here. Dave Christian has been moved back to play defense because of the injury to O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan hurt himself last Saturday in the game between the United States and the Soviet Union. He's dressed today, but he has problems with knee ligaments, and the United States named him as one of their 20 players. They're trying to play him, but they're short a defenseman. They moved Dave Christian back and forward to defense.
Okay, Tom, the puck is dropped, cleared into the corner. Durish. And Czechoslovakia's Bubla, number 19, spins around in his own zone. Buzzy Snyder clears it in front. There's a loose puck. And the puck is stopped there by number 4, Durish. Durish runs into the U.S. player and just got a piece of him. Snyder goes after the puck. Snyder then lost it, and it's brought out by number 26, Peter Stachny. Marion Stachny couldn't control it, and Team USA fires it right back into the corner. Durish is bumped against the boards. Anton Stachny clears it around to Peter Stachny. Suter bumped with him. Now Marion Stachny goes in after it for Czechoslovakia. He's knocked off stride. Here's Suter's shot, deflected, and it just goes wide of goaltender Kralik. Rolls into the other corner now. Two players colliding. And there'll be a penalty there as Harrington is brought into the boards heavily. And there'll be a Czechoslovakian penalty.
Stashny, a hooking penalty, taking the player right in. He seems to think it's pretty funny, but I'll tell you, at this point in the hockey game, it's not so funny because reeling. But here he has the stick underneath the arm of Harrington, take him right in, and Lindgren is calling a hooking penalty. And again, Czechoslovakia is going to be shorthanded, and they've already been placed under a lot of pressure when they're even side. United States just playing a great hockey game, taking this game to the Czechoslovakian team, putting them under all kinds of pressure in their own zone.
Anton Stashny, the youngest of the three Stashny brothers, in the penalty box. A 2-2 tie. Team USA has the puck. Ruzioni dumps it in behind the net to the opposite corner. Mark Johnson goes in there after it. Aberman chases it for Czechoslovakia. Overskated the puck, and they pin it against the net and get a whistle.
Hockey fans should watch how Czechoslovakia tries to kill this penalty in their own zone. They do not play a stagnant box. They do not play passive discipline. They chase all the time, try to force you to make a mistake.
Here's a chance for Christoph in front. Couldn't get a good shot on goal. Borjak clears it off the boards and down the ice into the U.S. zone. 1:35 left in the Czechoslovakian penalty to Anton Stashny. 1:03 left here in the opening period. Baker has trouble with it. Halupa fires it in. That's a delayed offside. Delayed offside at the Team USA line.
Well, we mentioned before that Martinez, one of the more experienced players in the Czechoslovakian team, had been taken off the bench. He was holding his wrist. And apparently we've been given the news that he has a broken arm, and that's a big blow for the Czechoslovakian team because he is one of the premier forwards in the world, Vladimir Martinez.
54 seconds left to be played here in the first period. Chasing the puck there was number 19, Eric Strobel. Couldn't catch up to it. Jimmy Craig out of the net, leaves it for Mike Ramsey. The 19-year-old defenseman from the University of Minnesota clears it up. Strobel takes it into the corner. Strobel trying to push it from the side, and he was checked by Halupa.
Not only was he checked by Halupa, and Mark Johnson questioning here the official. He's saying that it was deflected off the Czechoslovakian player's stick and into the back of the net. And in that case, the faceoff should be to the right of the Czechoslovakian goaltender. But referee Lindgren rules otherwise, said it went off the United States player's stick, and the faceoff comes outside the blue line.
Final 33 seconds of the first period. Team USA on the power play. Johnson in behind the net. He's pinned against the boards by Kyborough, and Strobel moves in as well, as Coach Herb Brooks of Team USA looks on.
All right, Silky, get Strobel. Let's go, Silky. Come on.
Brooks from the University of Minnesota. Former captain of World Championship and Olympic teams representing the USA. Now it's Mark Johnson getting set for the draw. The puck cleared into the corner. Naliba, number 3, had it momentarily. Then it goes to McClanahan. McClanahan trying to get it in front to Mike Ramsey with 12 seconds left. This is David Silk. Silk bumped there by Pozar. Goes in after it. And he's knocked against the boards by Naliba. Comes back to the line to Christian. His shot, and it just goes wide with 1 second left. And there's the horn. And the first period is over. And a little mix-up right at the buzzer there, Tom, in front of goaltender Kralik. Listen to the crowd.
The crowd giving the United States a standing ovation as they go off the ice. 2-2 tie, playing with all kinds of spirit.
The teams filing off into their respective dressing rooms, and the crowd very happy, no question about it, with the play here in the first 20 minutes. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Things go better when you and Coke get together. Everybody's looking, searching for the best. Coca-Cola's got the taste, living life is best. Things go better when you and Coke get together. Ah, Coke's the greatest. Coke has life, Coca-Cola.
Canada, get going. Go for the savings and values you'll find at Sears right now, all across Canada. Save $5 to $20 on textured draperies. Save $150 on a Craftsman radial arm saw. Save 1/3 on fashion wall coverings. And save $100 on a 20-inch color TV. See these great values and more right now in Sears new catalog and Sears retail stores. So let's go, Canada. Get saving at Sears.
And there was more hockey today at the Field House, the Olympic Arena here in Lake Placid. Canada played Poland. Now, Poland was not expected to do all that well in this tournament, but the other night they upset Finland, a much higher-rated team. So today's game was important to Canada. And here's how it looked. The highlights with commentator Ron Rusch.
Here are the goaltenders for the game. Henrik Wojtynik of Poland, who stopped 49 shots in the 5-4 win for the Poles over Finland. And Paul Pajot of Canada making his first appearance in the tournament. He's from Shawinigan, Quebec. And in the game, Poland here in the first period trying to clear the zone, but number 7, Joe Grant for Canada, gets it to number 3, Brad Peary, who moves in, feeds the puck to Dalvis at the side of the net. It winds up in the net as Zupancic puts it in, 1-0 for Canada. On the replay, you're going to get a chance here to see the puck bounce off the goaltender in front of the net, and there is Zupancic, number 22, to score, and he's a happy man. From the back of the net, here's the goal judge's view. Goalie into the net. Second goal of the game. Canada caught on a 2-on-1 here as Randy Gregg was gambling and losing. Zaboa out to Zobczyk, and he scores with a slap shot over Pajot's shoulder. On the replay, you'll see a good shot here. The Polish player picking the corner on the glove side of Pajot. The whole story on the winning goal of the game was number 9, Glenn Anderson. Don't take your eyes off this 19-year-old. Here he is circling around the net, and he's got the puck again. Shooting. Good save. The puck comes out again. And here's a chance for number 5, Waters. Puck behind the net. Watch for number 9. Circling again. Trying to get that puck out. He's in the corner. Circling away from the checking. The puck bounces into the corner. Now he'll come after the puck again. He's got it. He goes to the side of the net. Gets it through the crease. It bounces out. Bad clearing, and Waters scores. And Canada leads 2-1. On the replay, you're going to see again Anderson, the 19-year-old, to the side of the net. The puck comes out. Look at the fanned pass. And here's Waters putting it in. Canada leading 2-1. Just a minute and 50 seconds later, Dan McLean gets a pass out of his own end and goes in with Ken Barry and Bill and Maxwell. A pass over to Barry, and he makes it 3-1. On the replay, you're going to see Maxwell drop his shoulder on the 2-on-1 break and then pass it over. The defense goes out to lunch, and Barry scores to make it 3-1, his 4th goal of the tournament. Now here's Canada again. Gregg into Heinmarch, number 20. He circles towards the boards and around behind the net with 2 Canadians out in front. He'll shoot the puck up high on the goaltender. It seems to handcuff him, and Devaney scores, and it's 4-1. On the goal here again, you'll see it. Heinmarch coming around behind the net, and he'll cut out to his forehand as he gets to the side of the net. Here he comes. Now watch him flip it up, and it handcuffs the goaltender. It drops down between his legs into the net. 4-1, Canada leading. The last goal of the game, it was sheer forechecking. Devaney forcing the play. Primo at the blue line. He just blasts this one home. 5-1, the final score. Canada now 2-0. Final shots on goal, 36-25. And a tie for first place in the red division with the Soviets and Canada at 2-0.
That's right. That's what it all means. Canada and the Soviet Union, now the only teams undefeated in the red division, 2-0. So the hockey tournament here is building up into quite interesting action. As you can see, we have a game going on that's a very tough one tonight between Czechoslovakia and the United States. They're in intermission right now, and we'll be back there for second period action shortly.
Well, we've had quite a period of hockey so far. The Czechoslovakians and the United States are deadlocked at 2, and it's just been a great period of hockey, and there's a great deal of excitement right now down at the Olympic Fieldhouse. We're going to get a chance to take a look at some of the highlights of that period right now as the United States got everybody off really on a wrong foot. This is a shot from the point by Kaberle, and then the puck bounces out to Novi at the side of the net. He sets up number 23, Pozar, with a screen shot. That makes it 1-0. Kind of a deceptive screen shot. You're going to see a replay here, and you'll see exactly what they did. As it goes into the side there, that's Novi, number 6. Now watch, Kaberle gets it. The defenseman goes down, gets up, and then he screens his goaltender. So he just hung on to it. Good goal. 1-0 is the score as Czechoslovakia is in the lead. But it's tied up very quickly. Here's a face-off, and suddenly Mike Urzioni has the puck at the side of the net. He scores, and it's a 1-1 tie. Take a look at this one again. A good setup as the pass comes from Neil Broughton, and then that snapshot, it hits the far post and into the net, and it's 1-1. This is Baker, who got hit in the face with a puck earlier in the period. He sets this play up as it's into Buzz Schneider, back to number 16, Mark Pavlich. 2-1, the United States is leading. The backhand will come in here. Here you see it. This is Schneider, back to number 16 at the side of the net. Watch, it goes off the heel of his stick, so it just drifts in past the goaltender, and the United States has the lead. But the three Stastny brothers go to work here from the face-off. As first we get a shot, then the rebound. Number 18 there is Marian Stastny scoring, and that makes the score in the game. As we get a chance to take a look at the replay again, the puck is kicked out, but on the rebound, it goes in. Marian Stastny from his brother Peter, and that's the way it stands. Who's going to win this hockey game? Who knows, but the United States certainly have a great deal of emotion going for them right now in their own rink with a tremendously avid-type crowd cheering them on. 2-2 tie. They've had the lead a couple of times. We predicted at the outset of the telecast tonight that this game would be a rough one. It looks like they are really slamming each other around. And, of course, these two teams have a lot going for each other right now as they try to get into the medal round. Both Czechoslovakia and the United States have a good shot at it now, as the Sweden game, of course, you might remember, the Czechoslovakia, or at least the United States and Sweden, played to a 2-2 tie on that last-minute dramatic goal by Bill Baker. So they have things going their way right now. Let's hope they can keep, from the standpoint of the hometown fans at least, that they can keep things going for each other right now. So that's the story.
Ron, I think that a lot of people forget that the United States, after all, were the first ones to really challenge Canada in hockey, because way back in 1932, the U.S. in a real squeaker, Canada won, but barely. And that was the first big challenge. That began the break for us against ice hockey. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Esso salutes the savers. Esso salutes Chris Brown for switching to a friction-reducing oil that can save him gasoline. And the Erskines for keeping their wheels aligned to save on tire wear. And the Adolphs for changing their air filter regularly so their car can run more smoothly and efficiently. People like these look to Esso because they know Esso research results in products and services that can help them save. Esso, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years.
Second mortgage would do the job, but it's not really to your advantage. How about
your money? Scotiabank has people that can help you handle it. People who understand your needs. Scotiabank experience. Take advantage of it. Because today, your money needs all the help it can get. Scotiabank. Everything you need.
You know, I never would have thought of that.
Scotiabank, just around the corner, right around the world. Scotiabank.
Welcome back to the Olympic Fieldhouse. It's a 2-2 tie. USA and Czechoslovakia. Durish. And Czechoslovakia still a man short with Anton Stastny having 23 seconds remaining in his penalty. But here's Peter Stastny going in, a shot, and it just stopped by Craig, and Team USA comes back. Up on the right side goes Harrington. Going in with Pavlich. Pavlich passes it over. And the shot there by Buzzy Schneider. He didn't get good wood on it. It just rolled off his stick. And they hold it in the mesh there and get a whistle with 4 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, the team started off just where they ended off that first period with going end-to-end. Buzzy Schneider coming back, and he can really skate. Buzzy Schneider is a veteran of the last Olympic team in 1976. He participated for the United States in Innsbruck with the U.S. Olympic team at that time.
Pavlich now getting set for this face-off against Peter Stastny. Comes over to Harrington. Harrington's bumped off the play, and the puck is cleared back into the U.S. zone. Ramsey, Czechoslovakia back at full strength as Anton Stastny's on the ice. Kenny Morrow cleared it to center. Durish deflects it into his own side to Bubla, out to center, deflected by Peter Stastny down the ice. Back after it is Kenny Morrow. Morrow, number 3 for Team USA. Harrington was stopped by Stastny. Morrow goes back into his own zone. Tried to get that lead pass ahead to number 16, Mark Pavlich. It just failed to click. Now it's in behind the Czechoslovakia net. Bubla off the boards. Team USA keeps it in. Bubla goes back after it again. Here's Bubla. Clears it off the boards. Kept in there by Ramsey. Ramsey getting set. There's a shot, and it's blocked in front. Ramsey has it again. Rolls it in front. The shot is stopped. A bouncing puck, and it just goes wide of goaltender Kralik. Now Czechoslovakia brings it back out. Bubla brings it around the other side. Bubla, number 19, coming up to center. Here's Bubla, long shot. Deflected off a player and went up over the top of the net. Number 28 is John Harrington. Almost tapped it right by his goaltender, Jimmy Craig. Here comes Morrow. Morrow inside his own line, coming up to center. Morrow for Team USA is shot. Kralik deflects it into the corner. Halupa tried to get it out. Deflects off Christoph, and it's brought out on the right side by Aberman. Aberman's drive, and a glove save by Jimmy Craig.
Craig catching the puck on that good thrust by Aberman. Aberman, the captain of the Czechoslovakian team, has taken over that captaincy from Helenka, who has had knee surgery. Here we see some of the hard checking that's going on. Schneider being taken hard into the boards by Stashny.
Well, we thought we had the upper hand on this flu, but I guess not, Tom. And Ron Roosh is heading over from our broadcast center to bail us out. Little repair work there in front of goaltender Craig. And also some work at the bench.
Morrow with the stick, white tape. More of the players are going away from the white tape and back to the black tape now, but some of the United States players are continuing to use black tape on their stick. Morrow doctoring up his, hoping to get a goal here in the second period.
Now Team USA slaps it off the boards. That drive by Dvorak goes wide. Ruzioni went up after the puck. He slipped and fell. Broughton is stopped there. Czechoslovakia keeping the pressure on, but the puck rolls to Bill Baker. Baker slaps it over to Ruzioni. He can't get it out. Now Baker over to Christoph. Christoph backhands it out. On the right side goes Christian. Christian fires it into the Czechoslovakian zone. A 2-2 tie. Here's a chance. Christoph's shot. And that's blocked by defenseman Dvorak.
Dvorak selling right out, coming across the block, an experienced veteran defenseman from Cheska Bucevic. United States throwing that puck. Here's the opportunity right in front, selling out. Dvorak going low, holding onto that puck before it gets to his goaltender.
17-17 left to play here in the second period. That puck is deflected up over the glass and out of play.
Well, the pace of the hockey game is really a tribute to these young athletes because both of them have been going at a tremendous pace. They're obviously in just terrific condition.
Ready now. Here's a chance for Mike Ramsey. Rolling it in front. That's broken up and slapped down the ice. Morrow racing after it with Preacher. Preacher gets to it. Over to Milan Novi. Mark Johnson checks him. Knocks him to the ice. Preacher has the puck for Czechoslovakia. Rolls it in front. And Pozar couldn't reach that. Number 15, Kyberly. Gets it ahead to Pozar. Pozar delayed offside, and Pozar, a heavy collision with Mike Ramsey.
Well, those are the ones when you're reaching back to try and get that puck from behind you. Pozar really put himself offside. Going over the line, as we see it, pulled himself offside, but he's looking down at the puck, and Ramsey just comes across and levels him.
Both teams are at full strength. Face off just outside the Team USA blue line. Puck rolls to center. Shot in. Peter Stashny tried to get it. Bounced away from him. Now it's Christian. He slaps it around the boards. Verkota had it outside the line. Tried to get the puck to Bill Baker. Now Baker brings it up. Baker going over the line with Verkota. In behind the net goes Silk. And he tried to get the puck back in front, but it just failed. Now it's cleared back into the Team USA zone. Baker out to center. Iverly slaps it there. Now it's Mark Wells bringing it in. Here's Wells going in for Team USA, but he was stopped. Christian at center. Wells didn't see the pass. It goes to Baker, hit the official. There's a drive, and it just goes wide. Kept in by Christian. He missed by about 2 feet on that shot. Marian Stashny backhands it, but not out. Verkota got a weak shot, and it's out. And then back in, it's offside.
Well, those pucks that hit officials are very frustrating to the players. Sometimes they're moving to get the puck. It hits the linesman or hits the referee, bounces off, and then comes at a good angle for a shot on goal. Aberman complaining to the official about Lindgren, really in a little bit of pain, but the referees are part of the rink, just in the same way that goal posts or the nets or the glass or the gates. They're part of the game and part of the rink.
Right from the draw, the puck is cleared down the ice into Team USA zone. This is Mike Ramsey, knocked heavily against the boards. Aberman for Czechoslovakia. He overskated it. Pavlich coming up with Buzzy Snyder. He slips and falls. Pavlich carries on, backhands it in front. They score! Buzzy Snyder.
Moving around, just checking off that first check, throws it in front. Buzzy Snyder just seems to deflect it by the Czechoslovakian goaltender, but the original play was made by Pavlich. Pavlich moving in, and when he makes that little spin, Malupa goes right by him. Schneider moving in front of the net, just taps it, gets credit for the goal for the United States, going ahead 3-2. Schneider there, moving, just taps it by the Czechoslovakian goaltender in the United States. And this arena is just buzzing and hopping at this point in the hockey game.
3-2 for Team USA. 15:21 left to play in the second period. Naliba goes after the puck. Now here's a chance for Kristoff at the side, and he couldn't poke it home. Novi brings it back. Novi to Freacher, and he put on the brakes, but the puck went the other way. Now it's slapped off the boards into the Czechoslovakian zone. Naliba goes to Freacher. Freacher now at center ice. Over to Milan Novi. Novi drops it back for Freacher. Freacher right in on goal. And a good defensive play by Eruzione stopped him. 3-2 for Team USA. Now the puck is brought out by Pozar. Pozar, number 23, fakes a shot. Takes it into the corner. Rolls it in front of drive. And Jimmy Craig stopped that. Here's Novi. Novi right in front. The puck is on the line and just deflected away. What a play by Christian. Christian has it again for Team USA. Slaps it out to center ice. Naliba. Novi couldn't reach that. Now it's back for Team USA. Brought in by McClanahan. McClanahan in front. A shot. And Strobel just missed on that drive. We played 6 minutes here in the second period. Now the puck goes to McClanahan. Back to Mark Johnson. After the puck is Kyrou. And Czechoslovakia brings it right out. Marian Stachny. There's Stachny over the line. Novi trying to get a shot. He's hauled down. There'll be a penalty to Team USA coming up. A delayed call. And here's the whistle. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Breaking away for the good times. Hey, hey, breaking away for the good times. Then raise a glass of Canadian. Molson Canadian, raise a glass of Canadian. To the good times.
And welcome back to the Olympic Fieldhouse time, and Team USA leading by 1 goal, 3-2.
Penalized just at the before the break. The United States, a little holding penalty on Novi, and Czechoslovakia has the man advantage for the next 2 minutes.
McClanahan in the penalty box for Team USA. Face off in the U.S. zone to the right of Jimmy Craig. Pavlich against Peter Stachny. Pops it back to Bubla. Off the boards to Anton Stachny. Back to Bubla. Bubla to Anton Stachny. Back to Bubla. Bubla getting set. Passes it over and the puck is deflected wide and comes all the way out to center, and Bubla's back after it. 1:41 left in the Team USA penalty. Now it's Peter Stachny at center. Stachny shoots it. Knocked down there by defenseman Kenny Morrow. Peter Stachny in his own zone. Chased back by Pavlich. Bubla. Number 19. Here's Bubla. Drops it into Peter Stachny. Stachny coming up. Up to the U.S. line. Clears it over and it's offside.
Well, the United States doing a good job forcing the Czechoslovakian team in their own zone, having difficulty controlling it and regrouping. Stastny upset by the offside call on the near side, but it was offside, and the Czechoslovakian team are really shaken up at this point. They're down 3-2. I think the fans have got to them. They've lost a little bit of their composure. I see them looking back at their goaltender and shaking their heads as if the third goal was his fault. I don't think it had anything to do with that, with Schneider being off the edge, but a little loss of composure here from a very experienced team.
And we played 7 minutes here in the second period. Puck is deflected up over the glass and out of play.
Well, on this line, Lukács is replaced on the right wing. Martinez, who apparently has broken his arm. A big blow for the Czechoslovakian team.
Now the players in position. The puck is dropped back to the line. Cleared into the corner. This is Morrow going after it. Pumped by Aberman. And Harrington clears the puck outside the blue line with 1 minute remaining in the penalty to McClanahan on Team USA. Aberman is checked by Mark Johnson. Novak, though, carries on. Here's Novak going over the line, got to the blue line, then was stopped and knocked heavily to the ice by Morrow, and he's getting up slowly. In fact, he's limping over to the bench. 35 seconds left in the penalty. This is Novi behind his own net. To Halupa. Lukács on the right side takes the pass. Coming up. Here's Lukács going in with Novi. Gets a drive. And it's deflected off the glove of Jimmy Craig and just went wide. Kept in by Halupa. Goes into the corner and Jimmy Craig trying to cover up. And it slides underneath a player there, and the mass of players hold it.
Novak, after that tremendous check just inside the United States blue line, has had to go to the bench. And he is one of the premier centers. And the United States at this point not only are out hustling, out checking. Here we see Novak moving down, coming to the United States blue line, moves to the inside, gets by the first, and it's that second man that comes across and just drops him just inside the blue line. But he was hurt and had to go to the bench.
This is Kyberly now at center. Chased back by Kristoff. Kyberly inside his own line. Passes to Pozar. Pozar is checked there by Christian, and the puck is dumped out to center. McClanahan back on the ice for Team USA. Gives it to Bill Baker. He was checked, and the puck rolls into the corner. Kyberly. As they start to throw the weight around now. After the puck goes, Preacher. Shoots it in. Craig away out of the net. Czechoslovakian player was knocked right over the boards into the players' bench. Now the puck is shot down the ice. This is Bubla going back after it, and it's icing.
Well, that has to be one of the greatest success. Kyberl on the bench. He was hit by Baker. The whole U.S. team comes off and gives Baker a little pat, but he hit Kyberl so hard, and the board's being a little low. Here we have Kyberl just in front. He dumps the puck in. Baker coming across, hits him, puts him right up, over, whoops. There I go, Mum. Right over, upside down into the Czechoslovakia bench. Well, that's one way to get a rest.
11-12 remaining in the second period. 3-2 for Team USA. Bert Koda against Peter Stastny for this faceoff. Puck rolls into the corner. This is Mike Ramsey going after it. Ramsey to Mark Wells. Wells coming up on the left side at center. Back to Silk, and he couldn't control the pass. Now it's brought back out by Durish. On the left side to Marion Stastny. Stastny into the corner. Wells brings it back for Team USA. Here's Wells coming in with Silk. Wells puts on the brakes. Over to Koda, and the puck just goes wide. Now it's Peter Stastny. And I tell you what I'm going to do, Tom. I'm going to step aside and bring Ron Rusch in to continue on with the play-by-play with 10:31 remaining here in the second period.
Thanks very much, and good luck to you on the throat, Bernie. I know how tough this can be, and you've done a great job so far. We're watching just a great hockey game, and we're just nearing the midway point of the game now. As over the line comes Stastny. His shot is gloved by Craig, and he hangs on, and we'll have a face-off.
Every time there's a stoppage in play, the United States are just getting great hands from the crowd here. They're very, very excited in this tough game. But here again is another example of the tough checking that's going on in the game. Stastny taking the United States player into the board hard after he had thrown the initial check.
Face-off will be to the right of Jim Craig. We've got Novak in there. And player Harrington encroaching on the face-off. Puck is dropped. Pavlich gets the draw. It's back to Dvorak, however. He tried to clear it away, and it's out at center ice. Down over the line comes Buzz Snyder along with Pavlich. The drop package to Pavlich. Back to Snyder. Snyder in front of the net. Nobody there. Now they roll it out in front, but it's intercepted. And here come the Czechoslovaks at center ice. Carry the puck is Novak. He gets it over to the far side. They roll it in front, but there's nobody there to control it. And Harrington's got it. In the corner with Novak on top of him. He gets the pass over to the far side for Baker. He circles down the net. And Baker comes out with that long lead pass that goes by everybody. Cleared down out of the net is Frelick. He clears it into the corner. And the U.S. control again. Schneider tried to throw it into a pile of players in front of the net. That's Novak who intercepts. Here's Lukács going over the line. He was hooked from behind. And now a long lead pass. It goes off the stick of Snyder. It's lying loose in center ice. Schneider chases it down on the far boards and shoots it in. And the United States pour over the boards. Puck is against the boards, cleared out to center ice. It's Frechek over the line. It's called on the offside, and we'll have a face-off. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Do you know me? I won a few gold medals in the 1968 Olympics as an amateur. But skiing for me now is a business. And for that, I need an American Express card. And for the receipts that they send back with the bill. Believe me, those records are easier to keep than speed records in the downhill.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Well, a concerned bench of the Czechoslovakian hockey team right now. Karel Gut, the coach. The face-off will be in the United States zone. And penalties have been called. Dave Christian in the penalty box.
Pozar and Christian just getting their sticks up very high. And Christian, he was the person that came back and made the great defensive play on Lukács when he broke into the opening.
Teams are playing a man short. Both teams. The minors were handed out. Puck is inside the Czechoslovakian zone and held against the boards. We'll have a face-off down there as you take a look at Steve Kristoff from the Minnesota Gophers. And also the U.S. bench. USA, they're chanting here. And from the face-off, the U.S. gets it to the line. It's kept in, but controlling it and circling with that puck is Spritzer. Out at center ice now, right past Juris, and in over the line. It's cleared right back out to center ice, knocked down by Kaberle. Over the line for Novi. Kaberle tried to feed Novi in front of the net, and it was blocked at the defense, and a tripping or batting ahead. They called it for batting the puck ahead, and it'll be called for a face-off to the right of the U.S. goal. I thought that signal from Lindgren was tripping for a moment.
Good call by the official. I didn't think he had picked it up originally, but it was moved ahead with the open palm to a teammate, and it was blown dead at the dot, just to the right of Craig in the United States net.
8:30 remaining in the period. USA 3, Czechoslovakia 2. Don't forget, 11:45 tonight across the CTV network, Olympic highlights. You'll see that bronze medal run of Steve Podmorski. And, of course, highlights of Canada's impressive win. An impressive win, I thought, Tom. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. But they played very well against Poland, I thought.
Well, a very important win for Team Canada, because now Team Canada and the Soviet Union are each tied with 2 wins and no losses on top of their group in these Olympic Games.
2 of the 3 Stastny brothers out there, each team playing a man short. Juris gets it as Marian Stastny got the draw. At least Peter Stastny did. He took the draw. Back inside the Czech zone now. Juris throwing it rink wide. Bubla on the far side, out at center ice. Bubla working to the line. Stastny cuts through to the fence and is poked away by goaltender Jim Craig in against the boards. And a hard check thrown by Baker. Puck is behind the net and picked off by Mark Johnson for the U.S. over to the far side. Taken by Eric Strobel, but he's checked on the play, lost a stick, still managed to get the puck out to center ice. Johnson then ran into Strobel, who's coming back after he picked up his stick. Now here's Strobel taking a 2-line pass, and it'll be called back for a face-off a couple of feet inside the USA blue line. Wow, what a live crowd we've got here at the field house.
Wow, what a physical hockey game. Baker just leveled Bubla in the corner, and then Juris came back with just a tremendous check. Mark Johnson, one of the tricky players, and he is the son of Bob Johnson, the former Olympic coach of the University of Wisconsin, who coached the United States Olympic team in 1976. The coach here in 1980, as you see, Herb Brooks. But Bob Johnson, a former coach, his son, now playing with the Olympic team.
Novak will take the draw against Johnson, and it's poked out to center ice. McClanahan is playing hurt in this series. Now out at center ice, over the line it comes, and it's knocked away. Mike Ramsey carrying it there. McClanahan reaches for it, so does Ramsey, but Czechoslovakia takes over. Here's the puck cleared rink wide. Aberman throws the check, or at least has a check thrown at him by Morrow, and it's Johnson. Johnson to Morrow, over to the far side. Over the line comes Ramsey. He's checked. And against the boards, Halupa, and it's poked through an open wing. Chasing back overboard on this side is Morrow. He gets it inside the Czechoslovak blue line. Aberman was lined up there by Johnson, and Johnson just flat out missed him. Now from deep inside the zone, that long lead pass. Novak couldn't get the second pass away. And Pozar goes down with a check from Christian. Pavlich moves in as well, along with Snyder, and it's called for the faceoff.
Decision 80 brings you the complete election story Monday night, February 18th at 8 o'clock local times. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic network.
For almost a year, you've seen the amazing Joe Clark conservative trick show. Turn a $2 billion tax cut promise into a $3 billion tax burden on working Canadians. Turn a promise to lower interest rates into the highest interest rate in history. Turn Petrocan into... well, Joe Clark hasn't got that one perfected yet. Turn the Canadian Embassy in Israel into it. Don't be fooled again. This is the time to vote Liberal.
Well, Buzz Schneider has the go-ahead goal here in the second period. 6:35 remaining as the puck is behind the net. Czechoslovakia in control. Coberly out on the far boards, intended for little Milan Novi. He's checked, but in over the line now comes Czechoslovakia for Preacher, looking for a man in front of the net. Flips it in front. Novi shot, and it went off a leg into the corner. Now Baker goes in against Novi. Puck is cleared all the way out over center ice. He's Huntington, and he's whistled down on a two-line pass. Close call at center ice. Good lead pass there, but just a half a stride. At least I think it might be half a stride. We'll take a look at the replay on it, but they whistled it dead on the offside pass.
Well, it was close, but Harrington broke in between the two Czechoslovakian defenders, and had he just been a half a stride behind, touched that puck before center ice red line, he would have been onside and free to go to the net, but just over the line.
On the face-off now, taken for Team USA by Morrow. It's out at center ice. Czechoslovakia with Stastny. Marian coming to the line. He stopped as his pass was intercepted for the United States by Mark Wells. He drops it off to Morrow. To Baker on the far side. That's Ramsey on the far side. He shoots it down. Juris blocks it just inside his blue line. Flips it out to center ice. Peter Stastny over the line. Stastny cutting for the net, and he's checked by Morrow. Stastny now checked as well by Wells. To Morrow behind the net. Marian Stastny took a whack at it. Wells, Morrow turning away from it. Players go down and slide into the boards, and at the moment that the puck was covered up, and I think rightly so, it was whistled dead.
The United States, with their heavy checking, the checks like Morrow and Baker and Ramsey, they've been throwing tremendous checks, and they've got the Czechoslovakian forwards now looking every time they've got the puck. They're not freewheeling the way they usually can, and the team getting just a tremendous hand from the fans here, appreciating every moment of this hockey game.
Peter Stastny at center. The left winger is Anton Stastny, number 20. And Marian Stastny, number 18. The right winger, but at the top of the face-off circle right now. And I'll get this face-off underway in a moment here. Taking the draw is Neil Broughton for the United States. One of the Stastnys threw a tackle inside the face-off circle there. The puck is behind the net. The captain, Mike Eruzione, with the puck, just standing there. United States leading 3-2 with 5:20 remaining in the second period. Puck is off the boards. Ruzioni can't reach it. Has got behind him, and he had his back to it. Now against the boards, Broughton beating it back to his defense. Christian to Broughton, back to Christian. Christian skating along his blue line. Now out at center ice, that pass off the skate of Ruzioni. Here come the Czechs right back in again. Marian Stastny, and sliding across the ice to block that was Christian. Marian Stastny in the corner, looking for a man out in front. It'll be Zuras at the blue line. Skating in, he takes a shot. It's off a leg. Christoph threw the check on that one, at least blocked it. And the USA comes out. Ruzioni faking at the line. I think he had a man offside and elected to get back with it. Now it's cleared in by Baker. Going in deep, Christoph, along with Juris, cleared around the boards. McClanahan, he just left it there. They cut for the net. Ruzioni scores! The United States has taken a 4-2 lead, and the goal scorer on that one is Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson got it on the backhand, went in and scored, and it's 4-2 United States.
Johnson just walked out of the corner, fakes the little shot, goes to his backhand. The other Czechoslovakian in front of the net, and he's got room to move it right through. Czechoslovakian goaltender watching for that puck, and those backhands, they don't like them, but the backhand coming right out of the corner. Mark Johnson taking his time, making a nice move by the Czechoslovakian defender.
I don't think number 20, Anton Stastny, helped there either. Here's a chance for Czechoslovakia. They shoot, and they shot it wide on a 2-on-1 break right off the faceoff. Now Aberman is knocked to the ice by Morrow. 4-2. The United States lead this one, and the puck is cleared into the crowd. We'll have a face-off down in the United States end of the ice.
Well, the United States fans just enjoying this. The first time they have chance for a medal probably since 1960, the way they've been playing at this point. But I'll tell you, this is not an upset. They're full value for this 2-goal lead. In fact, they may have even been able to add, except for that last little close call the Czechoslovakian team had off the edge of the net. But they've been carrying the play to Czechoslovakia, had a lot of good chances. They're hitting them hard. They're slowing down those experienced forwards, and they're really taking the play to them.
Novak taking a face-off for Czechoslovakia. They're in a position they have to try and come back. That sometimes helps the defense because you get the chance to get the 2-on-1s as Pavlik sends the long lead pass, and it went off the skate there of Schneider. He slammed in against the boards. They check in there. Aberman, the team captain for Czechoslovakia, in there. We've got some shoving going on as well as Schneider gets involved. Down in the corner, well, there's Crazy George. That's hardly Crazy George. Looks like him.
Well, I don't know, but he's a happy fan, and he's living it up there behind that glass. Mark Johnson moving out of the corner, just lifting that backhand behind the Czechoslovakian goaltender as we get another look at it.
Here's Aberman on center ice. Lukács can't get the pass. Christian goes deep into his own end for it behind his net. Cleared around the boards on this side. They're working along the boards, trying to get it out. Harrington unable to. Now they'll try again, and a rink-wide pass. And they had one of the U.S. players, Harrington, lined up out there. Now over the line it comes. Lukács turning, Harrington coming in. He flips it to the line, not out. Keeping it in for Czechoslovakia. Noby in forechecking. It hits the glass, bounces out to center ice. And Pozar will have to go back, but it's Lupa. Cuts in front of him and collects the puck, clears it out to center ice. Now here's Noby. Noby with Pozar over the line. His shot, and that's coolly kicked in against the glass by goaltender Jim Craig. Out in front again, and it's hooked away, and here comes Ruzioni. At center ice. His pass over the line now. They go in, a chance in front of that, and Ruzioni had a chance to deflect that one in and just couldn't get good wood on it. Now in front of the net, the United States in forechecking as the puck is cleared by Dvorak out over center ice and down into the United States zone. Ramsey shoots it off Pozar's skate, gets it again. He's at center ice along with Christoph. He hit the line. Noby comes right back with Pozar 2-on-1. Getting back is Broughton, and Broughton made the check there on Pozar as the puck was flipped over to him. Now in the corner, Pozar in tight quarters, circling away from the checking. Slammed in against the boards by Ken Morrow, the 6'4", 210-pound defenseman from Bowling Green. And listen to the crowd. They're excited. 4-2, United States.
Well, Morrow did a good job of covering up on the rush. Broughton moving over the puck, just slips it in front. Can't get enough wood on it off the edge of the net. But Ramsey just carried the puck up indiscriminately with a 2-goal lead, just was charging it and got the puck knocked off the stick at the Czechoslovakian blue line, created a 2-on-1, and you can't afford to have that happen to you. Morrow doing a good job of covering up.
Well, the Stastny brothers are out there, but that's Bugla taking the shot from the blue line, and it bounces off a stick into the crowd. Another face-off about 6 or 7 feet inside the blue line of the United States. So the three Stastnys are out there. For the United States, it'll be Mark Johnson, who has just scored. Now they make some changes on defense. For the U.S., Strobel on one wing, and on the other wing for the United States, it is McClanahan in the face-off. Trying to control it. McClanahan comes out of a pile-up of players. It's fed ahead now, down over the line. Trying to get set as he cuts in. And Strobel and Kralik had to come out and cut off the side there. And the face-off will be to his right. Finland leading its hockey game by a score of 4-2. Here's the replay.
Another good opportunity. Strobel just moving across. The puck comes off the side of the net, and Kralik has to make that diving save coming across to kill the puck.
Stastny facing off in the Czechoslovakian end against Johnson. It's controlled by the U.S. near the line, cleared into the corner for Johnson. Johnson looking for Strobel behind the net. He's looking for a man out in front, but unable to, and Stastny clears it out to the far side. That's Marian Stastny, who got bumped up against the boards. It's cleared back into the Czechoslovakian zone. Bugla will go back to touch it, and he stops behind his net. Johnson forechecking on the play. It's out at center ice, and it's taken over by the U.S. Strobel digging for the corner. Number 19 for the U.S. behind the net. Juras checks him into the corner. Strobel still skating after that puck. Back to the blue line. Kept in by Baker. Delayed whistle. And as it's jammed in against the boards, the linesman blew it dead. A face-off outside the U.S. zone with 1:37 remaining. In this, the second period, the United States leading 4-2.
Well, I'm surprised and encouraged by how physical the United States team has been throughout the game. They've been able to sustain this pace, constantly hammering away at the Czechs with just tremendous body checks late here in the second period.
Harrington back into his own end from the face-off, cutting behind his net. Novak right on top of him. Harrington chased against the boards now, clears into the blue line. It's golfed right back in again. After it on the boards on this side, Ken Morrow ahead at center ice for Pavlich. He can't control it. Here come the Czechoslovaks once again. Novak coming in over the line, feeding it in front of the net for Aberman. And Aberman unable to split the defense. The U.S. coming right back with Harrington. Harrington to the line, a drop pass. And Ramsey rolling it to the area in front of the net, but there was nobody there who saw the pass from the Boorjak. Sends it out for Lukács. His shot, and it drifts wide of the net as Craig had the angle cut off completely, about 10 feet out in front of his net. Now it's cleared around the boards to the far side. Buzz Schneider in against the boards. It's pinned in there. As moving in as well as Lukács. And the face-off with 51 seconds left in the second period.
Some of these players in Czechoslovakian team, Novak just going off. He looks like he's beaten already. He's going off with no fire, having a hard time making the bench. The United States team coming on and on and on and becoming even more physical as this game progresses.
Well, we kind of thought that there might be a physical nature to this game. The United States has dominated it almost completely in that department. Out at center ice now. Here's the race for the puck. Is taking in is number 21, Ruccione. The goaltender out. Oh, he nearly got himself in trouble as Kralik was half blind there. He didn't know whether to come out or not, and Ruccione dove after the puck and nearly poked it past him. Now a long lead pass. Pozar at center ice. He hits the line. Pozar right on top of him is Christian. Christian will pin Pozar in. They'll try to get a whistle with 26 seconds remaining in the period. Now Christoph is having a couple of words with Lukács, I believe. Face-off will be to the right of Jim Craig.
Well, Pozar was looking when he carried that puck wide. He wasn't going to the net. He was looking. He was taken right into the corner. He's looking out for those checks coming. He doesn't want to come right out of that corner. And that's the effect of this physical game. The defenseman for the United States just throwing some tremendous checks.
Well, Novi apparently will try to get the puck back to Naliba with just a few seconds remaining, but he was unable to as Christian takes over for the U.S. and clears it out at center ice. 20 seconds left now as Naliba has got it, turning, beats it ahead. Breitzer looking for Novi in front, and Novi kicked at it, and it went just wide. Now the U.S. with 9 seconds left with Christoph leading the rush over for Ruccione. Ruccione muscles his way over the blue line. 2 seconds left. That'll be it. And an impressive second period of hockey. They are standing here in the Olympic Arena for the United States. And we've got some pushing and shoving going on down against the boards, which will come to naught. What an impressive period of hockey for the United States. The U.S. outscores the Czechs in the second period 2-0. They're chanting U.S., U.S. There's absolutely no way we're going to hear what the shots on goal total is. We'll try to give it to you when we come back after the second period intermission. So, this is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
But, sir, this new AES word processor is going to save us time and money, even for a company our size. Because it's much more than a typewriter, we can double our productivity. Watch. It can change sentences, rearrange whole paragraphs, all in seconds. And it types perfect copies at 540 words a minute.
Welcome to the farm.
Thanks, Dad.
Congratulations, Mr. Frisley.
What's the great name in sports? For over 100 years, the name Spalding has been found wherever great athletes meet to test their skills. When you want sports equipment that lets you be your best, choose Spalding, the great name in sports.
And what a fast-skating, hard-checking hockey game we have going on tonight at the Olympic Arena between Czechoslovakia and the United States. The U.S. scored 2 goals in that period. At 4:79, Buzzy Snyder, and later in the period, Mark Johnson. But one of the physical highlights was when Bill Baker, who was the number 3 draft choice for the Montreal Canadiens this year, decided to dump one of the Czech players, and he tipped him right over the boards.
We stained half this tabletop with Flecto X3D, the wood stain that fills and seals beautifully. 1 hour later, we stained the other half. And look, it dried without streaks or blotches. Flecto X3D is a gel, so the color stays even, easily. Flecto X3D wood stain, finished with Flecto Verathane liquid plastic. Tough, but beautiful.
Flecto, when you want to do it right.
One certainly has to be impressed with Team USA tonight. They gave up the first goal of the game to Pozar of Czechoslovakia. They rallied to tie it, then they get the only 2 goals of the second period. And as we head into the third, Team USA leads Czechoslovakia by a score of 4-2. And there were some interesting highlights in that second period. This is a goal by Buzzy Snyder, set up perfectly by Pavlich. And that was 3-2 for Team USA. Pavlich rolls it in front. Look at Buzzy Snyder, number 25. And he sends it past goaltender Yuri Kralik. Another angle of that go-ahead goal by Team USA. Snyder moving in front and just deflects it home. And there was a solid check in the game by defenseman Bill Baker, number 6. As we look at that goal once again, but watch the check here on Kyberill. He goes up over the boards into the Czechoslovakian bench. Baker, who was the hero in the 2-2 tie with Sweden, really laying the body in this game again tonight. The 4th Team USA goal scored by Mark Johnson from McClanahan and Erazioni. And just prior to the game, Mark Johnson was chatting with his mom and said, "Mom, I've got to get a goal tonight. It's Valentine's Day." And there it is. And the Team USA bench emptied after that goal by Mark Johnson. And that's how it stands right now at the Fieldhouse. 4-2 is the score for Team USA over Czechoslovakia. Lloyd?
Sorry about your voice, Bernie. Don't breathe on me.
I think it's going around. I think everybody's getting it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
We can talk for a second or two here about your impressions of that second period. Just briefly, did you think the Czechs were looking demoralized in that period?
Well, they're a funny hockey team. I think if you lay the body on it, and that's exactly what Team USA is doing in this game tonight, Lloyd, that it just puts them back a stride or two, and they're a little cautious. And I think that's the problem with their team.
For more live action on the hockey game between the Czechs and the USA, this is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
I've always been one for those things in life that last forever. Fine jewelry, fine motor cars. So imagine how excited I was when I found out Speedy guarantees my muffler for as long as I own my car. Speedy will guarantee the muffler on your car for as long as you own it, be it domestic or imported. It goes without saying that that can save you money. It's wonderful how some things seem to last forever. Unfortunately, the Major didn't last forever.
It's the Lakers.
Yourself, one of the family.
The Honorable John Crosby, Federal Minister of Finance.
The sure as the sun is coming up tomorrow. No matter what government Canada has, energy costs are going to rise in the next few years. We are the first government in Canadian history ever to offer lower-income Canadians tax credit to meet those rising energy costs. A credit that will amount to $80 for each adult in the family, $30 for each child, if the family's income is under $21,350 in a year. Even our gasoline excise tax of 18 cents needed for conservation purposes, for energy self-sufficiency, even that would only cost a family driving a car 10,000 miles a year and 20 miles to the gallon, an amount of $90 in a year. 5 people in a family will get an energy tax credit, $250, half in 1980, in full in 1981.
Real change deserves a fair chance. On February 18th, vote Progressive Conservative.
Well, some of us may be a little surprised about the success of this U.S. team tonight. They're now leading Czechoslovakia 4-2 as we go into the third period. But there are some interesting people on this team. For example, there's defenseman Mike Ramsey, who was the #1 draft choice by Buffalo last spring, but he elected instead to play for the Olympic team. They were also the winners of the pre-Olympic tournament. And Dave Christian, the son of Bill Christian, who scored the winning goal in the 1960 Olympic Games against the Russians, at Squaw Valley, his son is playing tonight. So all in all, there is lots of experience here. They're college juniors. They've been practicing very hard, and obviously they're learning. The Czechoslovakian team, as Bernie said, are beginning to hold back and watch and see just what the Americans are doing. So it should be an interesting third period as the Czechs attempt to get back into this hockey game. We are going back now to Fieldhouse. The teams are back on the ice, the Olympic arena. Our commentators are Ron Roosh and Tom Watt.
All right, we're back at the Olympic House. It's 4-2, as Lloyd just said. And I think, Tom, the goal of Czechoslovakia right now is to try and open it up and get an early goal. The longer this goes, the more hyper this crowd is going to get, and the more difficult it's going to get anything.
Even if they do play well and come back, and there's a lot going for the United States, the crowd, the momentum, everything else is going, they still have to face Craig, and Craig is a very steady goaltender. He doesn't give you too much. We get a look at him here, and he's a very solid goaltender. He's played the majority of the games for the United States team, and they're going to have to work to get the puck by him.
Craig, the stories here are we'll be signing with the Atlanta Flames immediately following the Olympic tournament. As from the face-off, there's a check thrown at center ice by Kadlec. Bubla having trouble with it. The puck is knocked down with a gloved hand for the United States of Pavlich. It's cleared in deep. After it is Kadlec again. Kadlec out at center ice past Stastny and is taken by the United States once again. Morrow over for Ramsey. He shoots it in. And the puck is deep in the zone, and in after it and putting some pressure on is Pavlich. Chips it out in front of the net that ends up out at center ice, and turning with it is Morrow. He's a big fella. Off the boards it goes. Harrington can't control it. Morrow, rink wide. Ramsey on this side. Back to Morrow. Morrow at center ice, called on 2 lines, and back for a face-off a few feet inside the U.S. blue line. As you see, young Ramsey there, Mike Ramsey, as just mentioned by Lloyd, the first ever U.S.-born player taken in the first round of the NHL draft, and that was by Buffalo last year.
Well, Kadlec is now replaced on the defense with Bubla, has replaced Juris, so the Czechoslovakian coaches are making a few changes, trying to shake things up.
On the face-off, Novak has it. He's number 11 for Czechoslovakia. He clears it in past Aberman on the left wing. Christian behind his own net. He's working with Baker. Baker just played tremendously. The very important goal against Sweden. And look at this long lead pass. And it goes ahead of Wells. The goaltender, Kralichsen, clears it out to center ice. Against the boards, turning with it. After the Strobel, he gets it over the boards, or at least over the blue line for McClanahan, and it's brought right back out to center ice again. And against the boards, Baker to Johnson. Banged it off the boards for Christian. Christian losing it inside the zone as it's cleared into the corner by Ebermann. Now Baker back once again. Baker out to center ice. Back for Halupa. Ahead, Bubla gets it right back again. Inside his own blue line. Number 9 is Dvorak. Dvorak ahead. And here come the Soviets with Novi over, at least the Czechs with Novi over the blue line. It's rolled in front of the net. It went off the glove of goaltender Jim Craig. And it's poked out to center ice by McClanahan. Coverley back in over the line to Novi. He's offside. He beat the puck over the blue line, and we'll have a face-off outside the blue line of the USA.
And just after Kybro got the puck, his old friend Baker, the same fellow that knocked him right over into his own bench, just leveled him as he tried to make that pass at the United States blue line. Took him into the boards very, very hard. So Kybro knows Baker's number.
Puck is dropped. Novi loses the draw to Brunton. Ramsey off the boards. Christoph at center ice. He falls. Down goes Novi on top of him. Morrow over for Arruzioni. Arruzioni, a rink-wide pass. He had to get it behind him, Brunton did. But now he gets it over the line with a player trapped inside the blue line, Christoph. So a face-off outside the Czech blue line right now. 2:18 gone in the third period. USA leading Czechoslovakia 4-2 in this very, very important blue group hockey game. Finland defeated Japan by a score of 6-3 in the red group. Shots on goal were 51-29 in favor of Finland. Japan managed to keep that one close. The goaltender for Japan had a rough night against the Soviets. We get icing called here, but he has put in some pretty good international games at times.
Well, Finland struggling a little early in the tournament, and Team Canada
so far win a bronze medal, finishing third. And the winner was this man, Leonard Stuck from Austria. His was perhaps the best run of all. Now, technically, he was just about perfect. Stayed low in his tuck, kept his arms in. Stuck went out ninth, and that's quite a good spot as well. In any event, his run got him a gold, and his countryman Peter Wernsberger finished second. Austria won a silver as well. And about Steve Podborski, his brother Craig, also is a skier, watched the race from his Don Mills home, and he celebrated. He was very pleased.
I'm very proud of him. It was
third period as the checking seems to be taking over.
But when you have a 2-goal lead in the third period, 17 minutes to go, you're coaching, you're Herb Brooks and so on, you don't want that flow. You don't want it going end to end now. You don't want to open up and get into a shootout here. You want to slow things down, take your time, don't make any mistakes. If you get the opportunity, okay, add to the lead, but we don't want to make a stupid play.
Over the line now, the U.S. breaking for the net. Christian shoots, scores on the rebound. And the United States has opened it up, and the bench clears, and the celebration is underway here with 17 minutes remaining in the hockey game. 5-2, the U.S. leading. I don't know who got in for the rebound. You probably saw it better than I did, Tom, but they have scored in a pileup.
Well, the answer is everybody got in for the rebound. They carry everything into the net. We have one. Well,
it went off the arm, it appeared, from that one of Dave Christian. Let's take a look again.
Yes, Christian going right to the net, and he's carried. He's being checked hard by Dvorak. Stopped. Everything is carried into the net. The puck went in with the Czechoslovakian goaltender and Christoph. I don't think at this point Christoph really knew the puck was in the net when he got up, but it was in behind Crowley.
Well, it is now 5-2, and Czechoslovakia now will try to really open it up, and they could get caught a few times. Here they come, back over the line. Silk shoots, and he's right on. And blocking it there at the goal is Kralik. And a face-off, and notice how quickly, Tom, they are changing lines now, the United States, which means that the Czechs are doing much the same thing.
Well, that's what you have to do in protecting the...
About the team doubles today, Tiger indicated he knew what was wrong.
Get tired and be in a position where they make a mistake or get a hooking penalty or get in bad defensive position. You change every opportunity that you get.
Little jostling in the face-off circle. Harrington over in front of the net there. Puck is dropped. It's out into the slot. Snyder to the blue line. There's a shot by Morrow. It's blocked at the defense, and Novi comes out. Novi carrying the puck to the line. He's dangerous. Novi over the line, but he can't get the shot away as the defense covers up. And the puck is poked away by Ramsey to the blue line. Not out. Caberlet at the far side now. Cleared into the corner by Naliba. They clear it to the side of the net. And the U.S. coming away again. Harrington up the left boards. At center ice with the Ramsey, a trailer on the play. Ramsey cutting in front of the net, but also is there in front of the net for the United States was Pavlich, but it hopped over his stick. It's batted out of there by Harrington. Harrington working to the corner. Harrington looking for Pavlich in front. There's a chance for the U.S. and they score! Schneider!
This is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Czechoslovakia.
Cool-collected person. She's a very kind person.
Squires, Carroll, Scholastic endeavor. Side of the net. Again, all three of them, the two defensemen and the last forward. Snyder just takes his time and picks the corner. The three Czechoslovakian players all behind the net chasing the puck. They've just gone to pieces here in this hockey game, and the United States pouring it to them, and the fans loving every minute of it.
So Schneider gets another goal in this game, and it is 6-2. Bubla behind his own net, looking for that long lead pass off the stick of Marian Stastny, but it's cleared into the corner on the far side. And after it for the U.S. is Mark Johnson. Behind the net, Ramsey. Ramsey to Stastny. In behind the net, Peter Stastny out for Bubla. He gloves it, knocks it to the ice. The shot is off the leg of Ramsey. And behind the net for Morrow. Morrow skating away with the puck out to center ice. Now here's a lead pass intended for Johnson. It rolls all the way down to Kralik. Oh, look out! And Johnson was going in on that one. And Kralik nearly got himself caught once again. Now again, Bubla, the lead pass for Marian Stastny. He's unable to get it. It's cleared out to center ice by goaltender Jim Craig. Bubla cuts across from his right defense position to pick up the puck. He drops it off for Peter Stastny. Stastny starting out. The puck is deflected by the forecheckers. Bubla finally gets it. Marian Stastny, he's checked. Now hits the line. Marian Stastny being poked off the puck by Broughton. And the puck is cleared behind the net. And Ramsey clearing it around the boards on the far side for Strobel. It goes right by him and all the way down the ice. Icing will be the call here after it is touched. And no, it is waved off. One official called it icing, the other said no. Now here come the U.S. again. Urcione's over the line. Gets set, and just as he got set, it was poked away.
In 20. The double was 8-3. And there you have it. Oh. Can I just mention that score? Somebody passed it on 6-2, the Americans. The U.S. is leading the Czechoslovakians. That's in the third period.
Careless, as they were ahead by a lead of 6-2, and now it is 6-3. The goal scored on the pass across the goal mouth by Novak.
Well, a two-on-one break, and look at Craig. He puts everything he's got. He just dove across there, trying to get that puck. Novak shooting all in one motion, just a little late as the puck goes.
We'll be back in a moment.
About to see something few people have ever seen. The book barn closed.
Dave Silkin on top of him. Puck is cleared out to center ice. Down over the line it comes. There's the shot. It's blocked very coolly again by Craig. Behind the net, the U.S. with Dave Christian back there. Leaves it in the corner for Mark Wells. Here they come, out to center ice. Halupa reaches across, pokes it back in over the blue line. Back to get it. They'll be offside there. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Do you know him?
Playing golf, maybe. But here, my little ski team needs this, the American Express card. It gives a family on vacation a great feeling of security. It can handle anything from ski lodges and lessons to emergency check cashing and plane tickets home.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card.
Don't leave home without it.
Just announced the crowd, 7,125 here at the Olympic Center, the largest crowd ever to watch a hockey game in this building. They'll probably break that record a few times before the next week, in a week or so. Our over, especially if this U.S. team continues to go the way they are. Harrington around on his blue line, fed it straight up ice. Coverly then knocks it down. He tries to flip it in, does, right on Craig. Craig then just shovels it off to the far boards, and Harrington can't get it out of the zone. Noby clearing it to Morrow. Morrow behind his own net. Around the boards for Schneider. Schneider just backhanded out to center ice. Pavlich over the line. Harrington getting set. Gets the shot away, but it's blocked at the defense. And Noby over to this wing for Czechoslovakia. That's Spritzer. Noby trailing as Spritzer went in over the line. Noby trailed on the play. Got it offside, carrying it in. And with 12:54 left in the game, and the score 6-3, USA, a face-off outside the U.S. blue line.
Fritzer showing his frustration here at the offside. When he is hit and goes down, just swinging his stick, he thought there should be a penalty called there, but just the aggressive play of the United States, all was on Czechoslovakia.
Stastny's got the puck, Marion Stastny, but he loses it. McClanahan, great move, he's over the line alone, his shot, and it just dribbled wide off the pad of goaltender Jesse Krylek. Against the boards now. McClanahan chasing it into the corner. Around the boards for Bubla behind the net. Bubla starting out. He's chased up against the boards as the U.S. very aggressive forechecking. That was Strobel doing the work there. Now Baker against the boards. The puck is cleared down into the U.S. zone and back to get it for the United States, Dave Christian.
McClanahan just turned. You see him on the bench. McClanahan just turned. Cadlet's inside out on that opportunity. Put the little inside move, went to the outside, and lots of time to get away his shot. Kralik had to come right out of the net to cut down the angle and take away any net that he might be seen behind him.
Broughton will come out to take the draw against Novak for Czechoslovakia. Out at center ice, Lukács. Lukács over the line. Lukács cutting into the slot, and he was knocked down. He was knocked flying by Ramsey, who made the check as he was trying to get the shot away. Now Ramsey goes flying. Here's Dvorak with a shot, and that's kicked away. And Arruzioni throws it out to Broughton at center ice. Down over the line with Ramsey. Broughton puts on the brakes against the boards in front of the net for Arruzioni. And he was checked just as he got the pass. This back out to center ice. Now taken by Morrow. Morrow shooting it in. Kristoff's after it. Out of the net is Kralik. He leaves it for Dvorak. And Dvorak successfully clears it into the corner for Halupa at center ice. Novak to the line. Noby is stopped on the play. Novak's got it again against the boards for Halupa. Halupa out for Pozar. Pozar got the pass behind Noby. Gets it back to Pozar. Over the line and against the board.
There is no Garden of Eden, British Governor Lord Solmes contends. Political intimidation is, he feels, a fact of life in African politics. But the level of violence in this election campaign has exceeded even Lord Solmes' expectations. Houses have been machine-gunned and grenaded, vehicles bombed, politicians and civilians threatened, beaten, and murdered.
Naliba on defense, his defensive mate. Cleared off the boards. Noby under pressure from Baker. Now Christian moves in. Two players overskate the puck. Noby in over the line. And the puck is cleared into the corner, and Wells is there for the United States. Wells around the net. Wells at center ice. That lead pass. Out there is Broughton. Broughton to the line with Berchota. And Berchota couldn't get the pass. Puck comes to the blue line. Baker moves in. Pushes it off into the corner for Czechoslovakia. Naliba. And his clearing pass intercepted and is hoisted right to the goal mouth. And Kralik will hang on. It's called for a face-off. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Irwin. Rocket attack on a passenger boat.
Read. Make tracks in the ski world by entering Gillette's Make Tracks contest. For each entry, we send 25 cents to the national ski team, and you have a chance to win one of 4 Saabs. Gillette's Make Tracks contest. Help Canada's team make tracks, and you can make tracks in a Saab. Enter wherever you see these Gillette products.
Well, there's the story. 10:30 remaining in the game. 6-3, the United States. We keep telling you, the Czechoslovakians can explode on you, but they're not getting much of an opportunity right about this time, as the United States is doing a great job of checking on them. Puck is cleared at center ice, off the stick there. At center of Padlet's, in over the line. Good check there. Good forechecking. Now the puck is loose in front of the net. The chance, a quick shot. Oh, what a save! Tremendous save, as the U.S. did just a great job. Schneider and Harrington in there of forechecking. Around the boards, Cadlet's. It's left against the boards, and it's Now it's cleared behind the net. And it's Schneider behind the net. Out in front, he put it right on the stick of Peter Stastny. Ahead for Marian Stastny. Stastny working to the line. Stastny still with that puck. Drops it for Anton Stastny. His puck is sprayed on and is stopped by Craig. And here comes the United States once again. At center ice, carrying it over the line is Ramsey's got some room, and he shot it just about an inch wide on the far side. Now it's at center ice once again, but Ramsey is diving across the line, but he didn't make it. He was trapped inside that blue line. So we'll have the offside call with 9:28 left in the game.
Well, Ramsey's effort to get back onside, just diving, trying to come in, as Johnson was trying to make the play, just diving, trying to come out to stop it. There we see Kralik's great save as Czechoslovakia was reeling in front. But that way that all that try that Ramsey trying to get out of there, I think exemplifies the effort the United States team has put in all evening.
We've seen a lot of that tonight. Over the line now for Czechoslovakia, Aberman. Aberman and to get it over for Novak. Lukács goes down, and here comes the United States again. Mark Johnson up the right boards. He's got McClanahan on this side. Over the line, he comes. McClanahan gets the puck. He's in front of the net. He shoots. He scores! What an effort by McClanahan as he was going down.
What a play by Mark Johnson.
There's a calm fellow through all of the furor. Herb Brooks.
What, me worry?
Had him all the way, Mom. 7-3. And the celebration continues here in Lake Placid.
Mark Johnson makes the play, just comes away, slips a nice little pass to McClanahan. McClanahan going down, shooting it in the short side. Kralik doesn't look too good on it going down. But at the same time, there it is, in the short side. Kralik trying to stop with his pads. It slides underneath him. But Mark Johnson, a sweet play moving over that line, just slipping it under the defender's stick to put McClanahan in the clear.
He came from his own corner, and he was flying by the time he hit center ice. And McClanahan, who was playing with a deep bruise in his thigh, which he picked up in the first period of the Swedish game, still pretty effective. There's a puck that was shot right on Jim Craig, and it deflected downwards on him, but he still managed to get in front of it. Craig plays his position very well. Coverley over the line. It went off the stick of Fritzer, and Morrow behind his own net. 7-3 United States. Eruzione, the captain of this U.S. team. Out at center ice, it went right behind Christoph, who was breaking up the middle. Now here's Naliba, but he is checked on the play as he tried to get a pass away. A weak one, and Broughton's over the line. Broughton sweeping the defense. Broughton has rolled it weakly to the goal mouth, and he took a hard check there by Pozar in against the boards, and Pozar's got the puck. In forechecking is Christoph, but he passes it off to Coverley. Coverley at center ice. Over to the far side now, and Pozar is stopped on the play, and it's hooked out to center ice by Wells, and down into the Czech zone. Back to get it. Naliba, he touches it, icing the call. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Now, Zenith System 3 is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. An all-modular chassis designed to be our most reliable ever. And now, better sound. 4 speakers.
On the surface, the Tory plan of cutting...
Get a $25 rebate on the purchase of any 26-inch or selected 20-inch System 3 model.
Face off and down in the U.S. zone. The puck is cleared out to center ice. Marian Stastny is sending it straight ahead for his brother, Peter. Peter is over the line. Fanned on that pass under pressure. Here comes the U.S. once again. Out at center ice over the line. Sutter for Fachoda. Fachoda out in front of the net. Wait past everyone to Wells, but is back at the blue line. Baker in off the boards. Fachoda behind the net, trying to get it out in front. Unable to. Moving in there also was Dave Silk. And now it's Marian Stastny for Czechoslovakia. At center ice, leading the Russians. He cuts to the right boards. He circles in. Stops up against the boards, rolled it in front. A backhand shot right there by Peter Stastny, but it's intercepted. It blocked right in front of the net by Wells and sent right back out to center ice. Sutter in against the boards. Sutter, as we see some fresh troops here for the United States. Over the line, Pavlich dropping it off. Here's Schneider's shot. That was a screen shot, but it was blocked by Bulbla, who just closed his knees. They're trying to put it between them. It's jammed in against the boards. Tadlet's a little upset in there. as the going went a little rough again against those boards in the Czechoslovakian end.
Well, Lindgren blew his whistle quickly when everybody went to the boards, suspecting that there was going to be a little bit of a trouble there moving in, so he blew that whistle very quickly. The puck really wasn't tied up, but he didn't want any melee in the corner.
Well, this coming Monday is Election Day in Canada. Don't forget Decision 80 on CTV, full election coverage. The face-off will be to the left of the Czechoslovak goal. And here they come. Out to center ice, carrying the puck for Czechoslovakia. That's Dvorak. Now here's the rink-wide pass. Lukács is over the line. Lukács, Ramsey right on top of him, and he's trying to get a pass away, and Ramsey had a good check on him, and he just fanned on it. Halupa moves in, clears it into the corner. The United States try to take over, and they'll just pin it in there and hold it. And we'll have a face-off in the U.S. zone. We've got 6:23 left of the game. USA lead by 4.
The importance of the face-off right from the draw. People moving in there, but in a game like this, you have to maintain possession of the puck. And the United States has done a very good job tonight, all night, with their face-off men getting the puck, because a team like Czechoslovakia, you don't want them to have that puck. You want to keep it in your end, and you want to control the puck. Don't give it to them so that they can start wheeling and mounting their attack with the puck with that possession.
Well, speaking of face-offs, Johnson beat Novak on that particular one. The puck is behind the net. Cleared out over center ice. Back is Halupa. A race for the puck. Good hustle by these U.S. team, but he was offside. Strobel getting in there. And it'll be brought back on the two-line pass. They may be tired on that bench, but they look pretty happy. So you see Eric Strobel of the University of Minnesota, another Buffalo draft pick 2 years ago in the 8th round. Face-off will be about, well, right at the top rim of the face-off circle. Novi taking the draw against Johnson, and Johnson gets the pass coming out of his end to McClanahan. McClanahan showing great speed here, and he's going around the defense again, but diving back and making the check there was Spritzer. Now the puck goes to the far boards. Novi circling back, trying to regroup. They've been trying to do that all night. Now coming out is Coverley. Coverley ahead for Novi at center ice. He's in over the line. Novi, very smart puck handler, cleared it to Spritzer on the right side. He couldn't control it. It's back to Coverley. It gets past him. And Spritzer coming out, took it offside, and again the face-off. Don't forget, great Olympic action here on CTV. Our coverage of the 13th Winter Olympic Games. Hockey tonight, figure skating. We'll alternate with hockey each night here. Figure skating starts on CTV tomorrow night. And on Saturday night, that key game with Finland. Now Suter sending it into his own end. Eruzione, a very strong game here. The puck is cleared down into the Czechoslovak end once again. Forechecking is Christoph. Suter's in there as well. Try to tie up that puck, and it's thrown into an open corner. Eruzione's got it. Eruzione back behind the net. Trying to get it out is Christoph. Now it's back to the point, and it hops over the stick of Ramsey. Ramsey over for Eruzione. He's checked on the play by Stastny. Anton Stastny to the line. And forced to go back as they line up almost 4 abreast there. Puck is cleared in, knocked down by a high stick, but Suter is able to control it. Suter, the play was not called dead. Stastny on the far boards. A good check thrown there, and cruising out at center ice was Broughton on the play. And they've been able to poke that out. He was home free.
Well, Suter hasn't played much tonight, but I can tell you he's a tough customer. In the 6 games that Team Canada played with Team USA, Suter was very prominent in throwing his weight around, but I feel in the Olympic tournament, probably Coach Herb Brooks wants to keep him off there because he does pick up quite a few penalties, although a very physical defenseman.
Now at center ice, turning with it is Averman. Averman just sends it along the line. Now over the line is Lukács. He took 2 hits in there, and it's into the corner. They try to roll it out again, but U.S. has been doing this all through the evening. They cover up completely. Lukács, a screen shot, but it's blocked by a Czechoslovakian player. The rebound, and Craig made that shot blocked. Now it's rolled in front again, rolls wide of the net. Morrow goes back behind the net, but Craig elects to clear it into the corner himself. Now Now the U.S. at center ice. Here's a 2-on-1, but Wells was ahead of the puck and went across the second line before he took the pass, so it's called for the face-off.
If he slows down, picks up the puck just before it touches the red line, they've got a 2-on-1, but he waited a little long, got over center ice, put himself offside.
I don't think he saw the line because he was looking.
Presumably people are living in the...
That was for Chota.
What happens to the perhaps 1,000 people who are now living
Period. Another cut for the net, and Posar's checked off the puck, and it's cleared away again. 3:43 left in the game. Back to get it, and call on the icing for a face-off in the U.S. zone.
Well, the United States not wanting to take any chances in their own zone, because in Olympic play, every goal for and every goal against may have a bearing in the final standings for medals, because if it comes to ties, because you're only playing a single round robin plus the medal round, then goals for and against may count, and the discrepancy between goals for and against are also very, very important. Witness the last Olympic Games where on the goal spread West Germany won the bronze medal over Finland and the United States.
Well, Johnny Esau will remember games a few years ago, Father Bauer's very first game where a goal spread, they changed the rules about halfway through the Olympics. And Canada ended up out of the medals after a three-way tie for a silver medal in that one. That was in '64 at Innsbruck. And we've got a player down, that's Mark Johnson, who's played so well tonight. And I didn't see what happened there.
Well, I saw what happened. I'll tell you, Naliba just cross-checked him right in the throat, and there doesn't seem to be any penalty on the play, but I'll tell you, it was just brutal what Naliba did to him. And talk about losing your cool and losing what's happening here. A very experienced Czechoslovakian team is losing its cool, and there's no reason for a check like that being thrown, and I don't know where Lindgren was looking, but there's Johnson down on the ice, and he took a very hard check and an unnecessary check from the Czechoslovakian defenseman Naliba.
We'll get a chance to take a look at it there. There it is.
Just came up with a stick right underneath the throat. Down he goes. And the United States players, there's Suter putting his stick right under Naliba's nose here and giving him a little threat. In fact, this may just break out right here. He's telling him what he thinks. In fact, the linesmen right here aren't even looking, but there could be a thrash right here.
They're gossiping back at the blue line.
Well, I'll tell you, Suter's the type of player, he wants to challenge him right now. This may happen. We don't have it on camera.
And you can hear some of the threats coming from the bench as well. There's Herb Brooks, the coach at the University of Minnesota. And his mouth is going a mile a minute. Well, it's been a rough hockey game. Baker taking a shot in the face and then coming back to play such a tremendous game. There's the replay again. That's Novian against the board. There it is, right in front of it.
And there was no reason. The puck was on the boards. Naliba just moved up and Colcock Johnson. And Johnson's a very important member of this United States team. But there was no reason for that check. The United States coach is very upset. Some of the players are upset. And I'll tell you, if Naliba's on the ice for very much longer, there's going to be a little bit of action going here. Suter, I see, moving over again. Suter is eyeing Naliba, trying to get to him. And I'll tell you, if Suter and Naliba stay on here, there's going to be a thrash.
And I think Herb Brooks is of the mind to leave him out there, too. I'm Carl Goot. I take Naliba off. Still got a long way to go in this one.
that I would get.
To go, and we have seen Naliba come off the ice. Kadlets has come out to take his place. A reminder, 10:30 tomorrow morning. It is speed skating as our continuing Winter Olympic coverage from Lake Placid here on CTV, and figure skating 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Bubla from the faceoff shooting it in, and it is held there by Craig, and he prevents further play with that. We've got 3:23 left here. USA 7, Czechoslovakia 3.
Well, Ramsey trying to get his licks in. Bubla just got rid of that puck, and Ramsey followed right through and dropped Bubla. Bubla is a tough customer, and he's a real competitor, too. But Ramsey and Bubla going at it, so we may have a thrash before this is over.
And Aruzzioni said that somebody threw a spear in there, and he pointed at Lindgren, and then sort of shrugged his shoulders as if you don't even know what game you're in. Here's a shot that's kicked away, and Aruzzioni's got the puck. He goes into the corner. Peter Stasny clears it into the corner. Anton Stosny couldn't reach it. It's out at the blue line. Anton Stosny throws a check, and there's a Ruzioni. And Ramsey steps in and just puts his arm around Anton Stosny's neck. There's a Ruzioni. He is very, very displeased. He's from Boston University. He's the two-time, or at least the second all-time point getter at that school. They've had some great hockey teams there. The number one point getter in the team's history at Boston U is Rick Mahar, who's now in the Montreal Canadiens organization. Here's the check thrown over against the boards. Peter Stosny in there. Now he stops up. Watch Anton Stosny come in late on the play. Here it comes. He's ready for it, though. Oh.
Ruzioni trying to get away from that first check, but this starts and he comes back off the boards, and there's going to be a thrash before this is over, because I don't think Lindgren has full control at this point in the hockey game.
Dvorak's out there on defense now with Halupa, and who else is coming out? We'll just have to wait now to get some decisions made here. It's Aberman. And from the face-off, it's cleared in. We've had a penalties called. It's got right by us. All the pushing and shoving, but they are minors called to each team at center ice now. Stick handling down to the line. Christian over the line, trying to drop it back. Here's a backhand by Erzione. Here's Christian with a chance. His shot rips just wide of the net. And going after it against the boards is Ruzioni. Clearing it out to center ice, is carrying it out himself. Ducks away from a check, tried to hook it past the defense. And coming right back, down over the line now. For Czechoslovakia, that's Dvorak. Dvorak in against the boards. He's checked by Broughton. And the puck is behind the net. Broughton ahead for Ruzioni. Out at center ice. And Dvorak going back into his own end lazily. There'll be no icing here. It doesn't cross the red line. And ahead it comes. At center ice, it's Lukács. Lukács trying to one-hand it over the line. He was ridden off the puck. And at center ice, 2-on-1. Schneider over the line. There's the shot, and it drips wide of the net. Baker at the blue line. Baker keeping it in. Trying to get it past Aberman, but Aberman hooked it out to center ice. And the U.S. will go back into its own end as Morrow goes back to touch it. He's going to stand there and wait for the icing. Nobody's forechecking him, and they call it finally. I just stood there for the final minute and 55 seconds, but I guess they won't let you do that. Now watch out now. Naliba's out there. Naliba and now David Silker having words. There was a cross-check out there.
Well, I don't see Suter out on the ice, and I'm glad to see that from Herb Brooks, because I would think that Suter is a real nasty customer, and Naliba's out there. While he's been taken off by the Czechoslovakian coach, and Bubla replaced him. There was going to be trouble after that check, but I'm glad to see Herb Brooks keep Suter on the bench at that point in the hockey game.
Face off to the right of the U.S. goal. It's cleared out to center ice. Out after it at center ice is Silk. Circling away now, Bubla. Bubla passing to Pozar, and he was taking that pass, and Verchota had him lined up. But he managed to survive the check, and it's inside the U.S. zone. Turning his Coverley. And against the boards, Pozar out in front. Still trying to control it is Novi, but he loses it behind the net. Stick handling with it is Baker. You see what's left in this game. 125, 124 remaining. Puck is along the boards, and they're starting to stand here at Lake Placid's Olympic Arena. Verchota's got it at center ice. Now he clears it to Silk. Silk's over the line. David Silk working for the net. Silk getting set. He shoots. He's right on with it. And it's blocked by Kralik on the short side. Now Novi behind his net. Novi has played about 30 minutes of this period, which is very unlike Czechoslovakia. Novi at center ice. Novi's over the line with Coverley. Stops. Clears it in front of the net, and the rebound goes past Coverley. 53 seconds remaining. In against the boards. 7-3, United States over Czechoslovakia. Puck is down into the Czech zone. Backboard is Bubla. Bubla cutting in front of his own net. He starts out. 39 seconds left. They're starting to stand. Over the line now. Bozar and the shot. And Craig makes the save and hangs on. There'll be a face-off to the right of the U.S. goal with 33 seconds left.
While the fans are all standing chanting USA, USA, Craig made that stop off Pozar on the edge. Come on, maybe shaken up a little bit on the play. But there you see a very happy United States bench. Captain Eruzione, Strobel, Wells, all of the players playing a great hockey game. They must be a happy lot tonight, because this win tonight will really enhance their medal chances. And the fans all realize it, and I think a lot of U.S. games are going to have a lot more people at them from here on in.
Well, the medal round, I think the U.S. has practically guaranteed itself of a spot in the medal round, a tie against Sweden, a win against Czechoslovakia.
Well, their 3 remaining games are Norway, West Germany, and Romania, and the tough part of their schedule is through. So getting into the medal round looks pretty good for the United States at this point.
All right, here comes Wells at center ice. He's going to try a lead pass for Harrington. Harrington breaking in, but he was just ahead of it. And with 24 seconds left, we'll have a face-off outside the Czechoslovakian blue line. There's Harrington, number 28, from the University of Minnesota Duluth, the alma mater of Chico Resch, among others. Seconds left. Bubla inside his own blue line. The countdown just about to start here. Bubla ahead. Down over the line now for Czechoslovakia. The puck is shot into the crowd, deflected. Getting a number of whistles here in the final minute, but 12 seconds left. There's nothing that can put a damper on this crowd. And the bench all standing up. And you know where they're going to head in 12 seconds. Straight for the net. Their goaltender, Jim Craig. On the faceoff, Stastny couldn't control it. Strobel's in. 6 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The game is over just as Jim Craig catches the puck. And the United States goes out to mob Craig, who really... We've got a little problem at center ice with some players pushing. Stastny, Marian Stastny's been in a little trouble in the last part of this game too, but eventually they'll line up at the blue lines and then shake hands. Czechoslovakia walked off the ice on you, Tom.
Yes, they certainly did. Czechoslovakia walked off the ice when we beat them in Calgary. I'll tell you, they're all coming on the ice now, but they don't want to shake hands. Some of them are trying to get off the ice, some of them, but they're all coming back to shake hands. I don't know, I'm a little worried there may be some trouble when they shake hands.
Well, in this game, the total shots on goal favored Czechoslovakia by a 31-27 margin. But the USA, with a tremendous physical game against Czechoslovakia, win it by a score of 7-3, and I'd have to say they are in the medal round, the top 4. This is Ron Roosh at the Olympic Arena with Tom Watt. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Public, but it'll be too early for the conventional. The appointment is at 8.
Oil that also gives him super premium engine protection. And McColl's on switching to radial tires that save them gasoline. And Alan Sirota for getting a regular engine tune-up to save him gasoline. People like these look to Esso because they know Esso research results in products and services that can help them save. Esso, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years.
If you believe Canada should pull its weight for the election prize, damage to NATO of manpower cutbacks and obsolete equipment, events have proved Canada can be an influential partner in the Western Alliance, but only with a government committed to pulling our weight. Real change deserves a fair chance. On February 18th, vote Progressive.
When the cost of oil went up, good old Jerry converted his oil furnace to gas. But then when gas went up, he cut down on gas by adding wood. Now Humphrey reduced his fuel bill by insulating with fiberglass pink. The money he saved on fuel helped pay for 2 weeks out of the snow and into the sun. Save money this winter. Insulate with fiberglass pink. It's like long underwear for your home.
Bernie, as the sign said, the U.S. certainly checked the checks.
No question, Lloyd. A very emotional night there tonight with, well, Team USA, after the tie with Sweden, defeating Czechoslovakia tonight in convincing fashion by a score of 7-3. Buzzy Snyder had a couple of goals in the game, but I thought one of the highlights of the game occurred in the third period. It was quite a play. It gave Team USA a 5-2 lead on this play here. Christian goes in, takes the shot. This scrambles in front. Verkada finally sends it home. and that was 5-2 at that point for Team USA. And then they just went on from there, increased the lead to 6-2. Czechoslovakia scored, and then McClanahan rounded out the scoring, and that's how it wound up tonight. 7-3 for Team USA, and they now share the lead in the blue division with 3 points, and Sweden with them because they tied in that first game. And we also must mention that Canada had a big win today, 5-1 over Poland, and they're undefeated in 2 games.
So that leaves the U.S. and Sweden tied in the blue division, Canada and the Soviet Union in the red division. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
How does it feel when you got it? Do you reveal that you got it?
Do you know me? I won a few gold medals in the 1968 Olympics as an amateur. But skiing for me now is a business. And for that, I need an American Express card. And for the receipts that they send back with the bill. Believe me, those records are easier to keep than speed records in the downhill.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Well, with the tie in first place in these 2 divisions, the red and the blue, in the
between the U.S. and Sweden, and the red between Canada and
the Soviet Union, it now puts Canada in an interesting position going into the final tournament and the medal round. Bernie?
Right, Lloyd, it almost assures the United States of a position in the medal round because they have Romania, West Germany, and Norway to play. Team Canada, though, has really had an easy time of it so far with Poland and Holland. So they have a couple of big games coming up. The game Saturday against Finland, and then they play the Soviet Union. And they really have to win those, although they've won their first 2. But they're in a tough position, but I'm sure they can do it.
Well, of course, that will be the one to watch on Saturday night, Canada and Finland, and we'll have that game live here on our CTV Olympic coverage. Several other features coming up on the CTV Olympic coverage that we'd like to remind you about right now. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern Time, don't forget that we'll have the men's and women's 500 sprint competition at the Speed Skating Oval here in Lake Placid. Gaetan Boucher and Sylvia Burka for Canada, Eric Heiden, the favorite for the United States. And tomorrow night, the competitions begin, and the pairs short pro